Since 1908, the ultimate reward for Australia's finest rugby league players has been selection in the Kangaroo touring team to Great Britain. It's the game's greatest crusade. The supreme confrontation between the superpowers of the code and the tour that's created legends.
This is danger, and it's a try under the post for Australia for Brian Carlson. Another drop by Zoe. Gasnier is in for a brilliant try. A drop pass and Gasnier's in. Safe from the play the ball, and it's a lovely pass, and away goes Langland. Nobody's going to catch him. Nobody's going to catch Langland. A beautiful dummy try. What a beautiful dummy try by Langland.
Ready. Long pass out to right.
By Langland.
Fulton out to Ready. Long pass out to Rogers. Rogers is in the corner.
Sterling again. Price. Oh, a beautiful dummy run.
That's to Lewis. Lewis steps, weaves. Busts the tackle. Gets a pass away to Miles. And Miles is in beside the post.
On it goes to Meninga. Meninga on his own. Meninga will score.
Now, in the footsteps of those legends, the 18th Kangaroos renew their rivalry with the old enemy. Tonight, live from Central Park, the World Club Champions Wigan challenge the Forex Kangaroos on Wide World of Sports.
When the Kangaroos left Australia, there were 4 matches that stood out in their itinerary. Obviously, the 3 test matches. The 4th, the game against the World Club Champions, Wigan. And that's the clash that we welcome you to today, live from Central Park. The Kangaroos up against the Cherry Pickers from Wigan. This English club side have won everything on offer in the last couple of years. And Paul Vaughton looking through their side, no great surprise, great quality.
It's just a fantastic rugby league side. You know, they've got 12 of their 17 players are in the Great Britain squad. That just goes to show how strong they are. They've won the last 6 Challenge Cups in Great Britain. They've won 4 World Club Challenges as well. They beat Brisbane during the year in the World Club Challenge. So they're a great football side and so many great players. Martin Offia, Kelvin Skerritt. There's just a who's who of British rugby league.
When we have a look through the side, taking the field today, all but the hooker in the pack may well be test players. So they've really got a lot of strength up front, and Australia, they've shown the necessary respect by naming nearly a full test side themselves.
They have. It's a very good side they put on the field. You've got Ricky Stewart has come in, his first game of the tour, as Bradley Clyde and Steve Waller's also playing their first game. So Bob Fulton obviously treating with a lot of respect this great Wigan side. The scenes here at Wigan are sensational here at Central Park. The Aussies out on the pitch warming up. The crowd actually applauded them when they came on the field. Just goes to show they're good sports over here, the Wiganers.
Yeah. The one thing that the crowds over here do appreciate are good football sides. You can see plenty of Australians have made the trek across to support the Kangaroos, and I'm sure they're looking forward to a very, very good game here. This, of course, is the 3rd match on tour for the Kangaroos. They opened last weekend with a big win against Cumbria. On Wednesday night, 48-6 winners over a very disappointing Leeds outfit. They're running 3rd over here at the moment. Pretty ordinary, the opposition, but a strong performance from the Australians. And early on, there was 2 front rowers who were normally second rowers who set the trend.
That's right, Sterlo. Paul Sheridan and Dean Pay up front. They really took the Leeds forwards by storm and just pounded them in submission. Dean Pay in particular in the second half had a great second half. He showed a lot of pace to run into a 50-yard run there at one stage. He set up a try with a beautiful in and away and a deft pass for Steve Menzies. So he's showing some good form early in the camp, and he'll need to be on his mettle today because these Great Britain forwards are pretty tough.
Well, the Leeds side, very ordinary defensively, and that's been the problem with English club sides coming up against the Kangaroos in the past. And players with evasion always are a handful. Brad Fittler almost unstoppable.
He killed him the other night, Freddie Fittler. You know, Bob Fulton has told the players that the English defence cannot handle any skill in the defensive line. That means Brad Fittler with his neat step, he gets through nearly every time. He's a workaholic now in the back row there. He's handling the lock forward position very well, and he is favourite to be Australia's lock forward in the first test.
Well, the only negative to come out of that match on Wednesday night was an injury to Andrew Eddinghausen. He wasn't considered for this game today. Wendell Sailor's on the wing with Michael Hancock. their clash with Jason Robinson and Martin Offia should be a highlight. If we talked about Brad Fittler being unstoppable, Michael Hancock, they just couldn't handle at all.
Well, what about Mick? It was like he had some incurable disease. They just wouldn't tackle him. He was beating 4 and 5 tacklers every time, had a great game. He'll be a force to be reckoned with today, Sello.
Well, we mentioned the fact that today is the first time we see Ricky Stewart, Brad Clyde and Steve Walters on show. Pretty frustrating time for a man who has yet to play his first game on tour. Of course, the big chief from Newcastle, Paul Harrigan, serving a 3-match suspension. Frustrating times, but he's now on the pitch, soaking up the atmosphere with Ray Warren.
Peter, when Glenn Lazarus was injured in the match against Cumbria, it made the task of Bob Fulton a lot more difficult. He came away from Australia with only 3 props, and of course it was made more frustrating for him with the suspension being served by Paul Harrigan. Frustrating for the coach, but I guess even more so for Paul Harrigan. And the Chief's with me now. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks very much.
Well, I guess it must be frustrating sitting on the benches watching the team and Bozo light on for front rowers.
It is. It's frustrating enough anyway if Glenn Lazarus wasn't hurt, but you know, doing all the training and waiting to play. But also now that he's injured, it's really all hands on deck, and it's just I feel a little bit crippled, but I just got to watch.
Well, this is the last time you'll be watching.
Yeah, and I'm pretty happy about that. And we've been training pretty hard, twice a day, and you know, it's just like doing all the training without playing. It's a little bit frustrating. But thank heavens today is the last day, and I can't wait to get on the Castleford, boys.
This is your first tour. Is it everything you thought it might be, given that you're only a fortnight into it?
Yeah, it is. It's I think it's been a little bit quieter than other tours because, you know, as I said before, it is all hands on deck. We don't know what to expect really of the Great Britain side, and as I said, everyone's training twice a day, and it's head downs and bum up and plenty of work. But you know, as a young bloke, like every time we're in State Origin camp or on the Australian side, conversation often goes to the Kangaroo Tours and all the stories, and it's living up to its stories. It's great so far.
Bobby Fulton, is he a hard taskmaster? He promised the squad before they left that it would not be all beer and skittles, I think was his way of putting it.
Yeah, well, he's certainly living up to that. It is. It's been very hard, and you know, the training's been hard and constant, and he is a hard taskmaster, and he gets the results, you know, and he's a great coach, Bozo, and I think today will be a great game, similar to the Leeds match. A very tough start, but we'll come through with less mistakes.
Near enough to the Test side with a couple of question marks.
Well, it's got to be the Test side because Wigan is near the Test side for England, so it is. There's probably about 2 or 3 positions I'd say that it's possible to change, but it's very close to our Test side, and as I said, same as Wigan's.
Paul, thanks for taking time out to talk to me.
Thank you very much, thanks.
There he is, the Chief from Newcastle, and it's back to you now, Peter, in Central Commentary.
For some on Wednesday night, this is one of the special games on tour in 1994. Wigan up against the Kangaroos. We'll take a break now and be back with more in a moment.
Now, what do you think people notice most about your appearance? Your hairdo? New clothes? Think again. It's your smile that makes the difference. Now, if you're too embarrassed to smile, Demtel would like you to watch this.
I'm Morgan Fairchild, and I know how important it is to have a beautiful smile. We all know that coffee, smoking, and aging yellow our teeth. But now it's simple to have beautiful white teeth.
Next, I'd like you to listen to Dr. George Madray. He's an American dentist who not only invented this non-abrasive tooth whitening process, but uses it to whiten his patient's teeth and his own.
My foam has been tested and proven as a safe and effective whitening agent. Now I've made it available for you at home.
Jeanette used Dental White on her upper teeth only. And just look at these dramatic results.
My boyfriend, he loves my new smile.
I was amazed at how simple and easy it was to use.
My teeth were whiter after the first time I used it.
This is not a complicated or messy 3-step process, or one of those ineffective brush-ons.
Simply apply the Dental White formula to the custom tray and fit it to the contours of your teeth. Even if you're a regular coffee drinker, even if your teeth have turned yellow with age, Dental White will make your teeth more brilliant than they've ever been before.
And there's no risk. Try Dental White.
When you buy Dental White from Demtel, you get everything you need for a complete 3-week treatment. 2 custom trays, a large bottle of Dental White, and complete, easy-to-follow instructions, all for just $49.95, and Demtel's $3.95 guaranteed total delivery charge. You don't have to be rich and famous or lucky to have beautiful white teeth. All you need is Dental White.
Dental White is easy.
What an offer. Ring now, but do not send any money. We'll bill you. Ring 13 11 99. Ring now for Demtel's $3.95 total delivery charge. Yes, $3.95 on any quantity. Ring now, even if you don't have a credit card. Ring 13 11 99. Ring now.
On 60 Minutes,
Save us from the fires of hell.
men of God preaching murder,
Would you kill him?
I would have to do what God says, yes.
hysteria,
It's a war.
as the abortion debate gets out of control.
I sleep with my gun in the bed with me.
Also the secrets of Thomas the Tank Engine, his cranky old creator.
I'm sick of it.
The Dotty Pat controller.
I've been like this since I'm a kid.
And the people who've made millions.
It's been more successful than I could have ever dreamed.
Toyota presents 60 Minutes, 7:30.
A sunny afternoon here in Lancashire, believe it or not, for the clash between Australia and Wigan. An enormous roar has just gone up as the home side taken the field to do their warm-up. Most of the Great Britain squad were at Leeds on Wednesday night to watch the Australians go around. And at the end of the game, I caught up with one of their world-class players, their back rower, Dennis Betts, and just asked him what he thought about this clash this afternoon.
Well, we've had quite a good start this year, Wigan. We've won some of our games quite convincingly. We've scored a lot of points, but playing against an Australian side, like you say, is something different. People look on this game as the fourth test. They did that in 1990, and I think Australia came out and gave us quite a good hiding. But we're just going to go into this game as confident as possible, really, realising that we've just got to do our best.
If Wigan were successful against the Australian side, what kind of effect do you think that would have on the Great Britain chances? How would they react to that? Look, confidence-wise, it would be a great thing.
It should be a great boost to us at all. Like, if you look at the results so far that Australia have had, like, it's no good at all for Great Britain's domestic game that Australia come to Leeds and beat them by 50 points. If Wigan can take that first win off the Australians on a club level, then it would be great for the British game. It'd also be a great boost for the national side, and hopefully we'd realise that we have got the beating of Australia.
Watching the Australians against Leeds, was there anything that you learnt about the Australian side, especially considering it probably was very close to the Test backline?
No, we get the games quite regularly. We know the Australian players are of a very high standard, and at the moment Leeds were pretty poor. I was at the game, and they was just very poor. Australia had free rein, really. They was popping the balls up. At the end it turned into a game of touch. Australia just completely dominated the game, and it showed that they were probably the best side out there.
Well, to be successful, both Wigan-wise and Great Britain-wise, what do you have to do very well to beat this Australian team?
You have to tackle. It's something that Leeds didn't do. We have to close Australia down. We have to stop them being able to release the ball in the tackle. We have to try and slow their play the balls down and stop them getting on a roll. Like, they've got a lot of big forwards and a lot of big backs, but if we can stop them getting on a roll, and maybe we can get ourselves getting on a roll and just play at the similar kind of pace that Australia play at, then maybe that we will be with a chance. So we have to be on our best, we have to be on our toes, and we have to be able to take away that enthusiasm that Australian teams have got. We also have to stop them believing so much in themselves as the best team in the world.
And this crowd finally at Central Park, they're going to be right behind you. What kind of effect is that going to have?
It's going to be great if we're doing okay, but they're very fickle fans. If we start struggling against the Australians, I'm sure that the fans will let us know. So we've got to go out there and we've got to just put the crowd out of our mind and just get on with the job and realise that we're playing against Australia. A club side's not beaten Australia in a long time, and we've got a chance to put our names in the books.
Well, the fans have already started to make plenty of noise. Dennis Betts is a world-class player, and with Andy Platt going to the Auckland Warriors, who'll be looking to take on some extra responsibility. We'll take a break now and be back with the arrival of the world champions, the Australian Kangaroos, up against the world club champions, Wigan.
Tool Specialists introduce SIP air compressors and spray kits. 10 cubic feet air compressor, direct drive, 2 horsepower motor, including spray gun, cleaning gun, air hose, tyre inflator, air blower. Ready to go at $549 only at Tool Specialists. 53 Maitland Road, Sandgate.
At the Newcastle Permanent, we understand your needs. That's why when you invest with us, we guarantee a high rate of 7.5% for 12 months. or 6.5% for 6 months. And your money is completely secure with Financially the strongest building society in Australia. Invest $5,000 or more and earn up to 7.5% per annum with interest paid on maturity. Talk to the Newcastle Permanent about the best and most secure investment in our town.
Do it, yes we can. What did you say? Yes we can. Yes we can at Cardiff, at Cardiff Toyota. We're the trusted name in our town. Oh, if you want it, you got it. Come and hear us say. Yes we can, yes we can. At Cardiff Toyota, yes we can.
Ta-ra-ta-ra. Well, all the mechanics from Loopmobile, we come to fix your car up, ta-ran-ta-ran-ta-ra-ra.
Trust the guys from Loopmobile
For a tune-up to an engine overhaul.
They fixed my car.
They fixed my car.
They fixed the car.
For the clutch or the brakes or a full inspection, Loopmobile we come to you, Loopmobile.
Tool specialists introduce SIP air compressors and spray kits. 10 cubic feet air compressor, direct drive, 2 horsepower motor, including spray gun, cleaning gun, air hose, tyre inflator, air blower. Ready to go at $549 only at Tool Specialists. 53 Maitland Road, Sandgate.
The year's most electrifying new cinema release is Clear and Present Danger.
And that is where we must strike.
From the same #1 selling author.
You just waded on in like John Wayne.
Comes the original white-knuckle thriller.
Rage. Pure rage.
For the first time on television.
Let's do it. Get off the highway right now.
We bring to you
Post him back to Whitehall in little pieces.
Harrison Ford.
I want back in.
Patriot Games, tonight 8:30 on NBN.
And welcome back, Australia, to Central Park here in Wigan, with the teams about to come out. And of course, as Peter and Paul have said, a magnificent setting that's looking down on Central Park, one of the oldest grounds and the oldest grandstands. They've been around for many, many years and have housed some magnificent crowds. Once upon a time, the record crowd stood at around about 45,000. That was before the construction of the end-on grandstands. As we see the Wigan side now coming from the dressing rooms, and they will be met again by a thunderous round of applause. They came out and did their warm-up earlier, and that was something to be here and witness. But this is going to be even more deafening, I'm sure. I'm not positive of the crowd size, but probably bordering on 30,000 would not surprise me. The 86 Kangaroos, as the 94 Kangaroos come out, but in 86 they attracted 30,000, and in 1990 a crowd of 24,000 was on hand here to see them. In fact, Paul Borton was with the Manly Club when they played the club championship here back in 87, and that was a crowd of 37,000.
That's right.
And here they come now, the two sides simultaneously taking the field. Mal Meninga on the left, and of course Shaun Edwards, one of the most capped players of all time. I'll tell you more about Shaun Edwards and his illustrious career as the match unfolds. A chat there between Meninga and Edwards as the world champions of Rugby League Australia and the world club champions Wigan come straight down the middle of Central Park. The sun, as if on cue, is now beaming down more strongly. And it is a magnificent setting and a lovely day now. It's quite an incredible country. We left in overcast conditions from Leeds, and we came through a very thick fog on the freeway coming down. Some rain, but now it's cleared into a magnificent day. And the crowd just settling back, high in expectation of what is going to transpire here today. It is described as the 4th Test match by many of the English papers, and that is just how high or highly this clash is regarded these days, because Wigan is considered to be the biggest and the best rugby league club in all of England. They are the best known, they are the most successful. They've won 15 premierships. I'll put it in our own terminologies. They've won 15 premierships and they've won 15 Challenge Cups, and nobody comes within a cooee of what Wigan has achieved. The toss of the coin. David Campbell is the referee for this match this afternoon.
It will be interesting to see this Wigan side, Ray. They are a little bit different to what we've seen in the last couple of years. Of course, no Dean Bell here. Andy Platt has left. A lot of young players in this Wigan lineup. They've still got some experience out there. But just looking in the centres, we've got Tuigamala with Henry Paul. Neither of those players very experienced in that position, coming up against Meninga and Renouf. It's a big test for the Wigan guys this afternoon, but what an enormous crowd here to support them.
So it's going to be the men in the cherry and white, their official colours, to run from right to left, and just the slightest of breeze coming down from behind them for the first 40 minutes. Ian Roberts returns to Central Park. He gave very good service to Wigan back in the middle 80s. Wendell Saylor is in the side today for Andrew Eddinghausen. The kick-off, and Stewart fields it on the right foot, and Sirenen takes a barrage of defence. First tackle was strong from Hall, and he got support from Skerritt. Clyde has his legs taken from under him. Good tackle by Phil Clark in the headgear. They go to the blind side, and Meninga is met again by a barrage of defence from Wigan. And now Australia on their 4th tackle, trying to get across the 20-metre line. And that's a good indication of the intensity of the defence on the first set of 6. Steve Walters has broken them. Walters is over the halfway. He's run away from Saylor. He's gone back looking for him, and now he finds him. And Saylor put down and put into touch. A great break by the Canberra hooker and Australian hooker, Steve Walters.
Yeah, great work by Steve Walters. Very ordinary marker play there by Neil Cow, who just put the arm out and waved him goodbye. And Steve Walters showed early he's back. He's had 3 weeks off, a couple of weeks off after the grand final, and he's fresh and fighting fit.
So Edwards works the scrum just beyond his own 20-metre line. Connolly came in from fullback, and he met Meninga and Daly. Played by Connolly, and it's gone away from Edwards. On and knocked on by Afire. Great chance for Australia here early.
Well, Martin Afire looking to take a rucker. He's had a huge butcher's hook there, and he's dropped the ball cold, so a big opportunity now for the Aussies. Couple of minutes into the match.
So the scrum pretty much in centre field as they come to the right for Daly to show to Meninga and use Renouf. Renouf is put away, 25 metres out. Meninga a dummy half. They look a bit disorganised, the Australians. A roar from the crowd as Roberts takes a heavy tackle. Walters on. This is Pay, one of the stars of Wednesday. Walters again a dummy half. They've used up most of this set of 6. Here's Bradley Clyde. Clyde all the way. Under the bar. And that will take some of the emotion away from Wigan.
The crowd have gone very quiet. Bradley Clyde, with about his 2nd touch of the football this afternoon, has strolled across. Beautiful lead-up play from Ricky Stewart. A planned move. The reverse pass that we see so often with the Canberra team. Finding Clyde up the middle. There was a decoy player there to help Clyde, and he stepped through the tackle. I think it was Gary Connolly. Had a pretty good shot on Clyde one-on-one, but couldn't come up with the tackle. Play going to the left-hand side. The reverse play, the second man behind Fittler, wasn't read by the Wigan players. And then Bradley Clyde just brushes through the tackle of Connolly to score under the posts.
Well, too easy, isn't it? The Wigan defence, just like Leeds the other night, always susceptible on the inside when the players don't come over. They're lazy in defence here, and very easy there for Bradley Clyde. Also in his first game in a couple of weeks. And interestingly, well, Mal Meninga has actually gone off. He's into the blood bin. And Laurie Daly will take the shot at goal.
Yeah, Tim Brasher has gone out there, but he arrived too late to take the conversion attempt. And Laurie Daly will take it from right in front. I don't want to put a hex on Laurie, but I remember his first kick at goal in State of Origin. It was a tremendously embarrassing moment for Laurie Daly. Of course, he's come a long way since that night at Lang Park to be regarded as one of the world's best players. The try scored by arguably the best forward in the world, and to be converted by equally, arguably, the best back in the world, and he does that. Daly converts and Australia lead Wigan 6 points to 0.
Tool specialists introduce SIP air compressors and spray kits. 10 cubic feet air compressor, direct drive, 2 horsepower motor, including spray gun, cleaning gun, air hose, tyre inflator, air blower. Ready to go at $549 only at Tool Specialists. 53 Maitland Road, Sandgate.
Clarendon Homes, the #1 home builder in New South Wales, now has local people building for you in the Hunter region. The locals in Clarendon's Newcastle office invite you to look through our magnificent new designs. Visit our display centre at Hunter Homeland.
Second tackle has just been made, and Walters goes to ground on the third. 6-0 Australia. Central Park, the venue, as Seranen gets a smack over the nose from Skerritt. Skerritt back after injury. He hasn't played since the latter part of August against Featherstone. The kick down the ground for Connolly. A bit of space is on offer. Robinson's with him, but the defence of Steve Renouf was equal. Meninga has been patched up, the bandage is on the head, and he's on the sidelines to come back. They're 10 metres on their own side of the halfway, the Riversiders. Clark is tackled. Son of Colin Clark, who hooked for Great Britain back in '73. From Bodica, it goes across, and this is Farrell. Dummy half is Hall. In the side for Martin Dermott, who's also been out injured for a long, long time. From Paul, it goes to Connolly. They look for Robinson on the right. 5 tackles have expired, and Wigan haven't really gone too far. Edwards puts it on the right foot. Saylor falls back, gets a good bounce. Mullins is with him on the left. Brasher comes in behind. Saylor's away! Outside the 40! Over the half! Brasher comes up! O'Fire rounds him up! Good work by O'Fire.
Oh, great run from Wendell Saylor, straight through Skerritt and Clark. Ricky Stewart, 22 metres out, looking for the wide ball. Mile offside there.
Daly gets the pass on. Renouf, he gets it away, but it's gone into touch. A try has been bombed there, but what a great run by Wendell Saylor.
He's taken this English Rugby League team by storm here, the scene over here. He's just killed them. They all want his autograph. They all want to talk to him in the papers. Steve Renouf had an unhappy night at Leeds the other night, and that won't help his confidence. Certain try went begging.
Wigan back in familiar territory inside their own 20-metre zone. This is the young Kiwi Paul, Henry Paul, and now that's Cowie. He toured with the Lions in 1992. Here's Clark in the headgear. He's being tipped as a chance to captain Great Britain in the Test Series, Philip Clark. The smart money is on Edwards, but Clark is not out of it. Now Dennis Betts. He forms the foundation, really, of the English pack these days. Edwards does a bit of dancing and puts in a kick straight down the ground that bounces for Mullins. Mullins comes away. Sees that he can't crack the fragile defence that's been on offer. Penalty Australia.
Now the referee ruling that Dennis Betts interfered with Mullins in his effort to play the football. The crowd didn't like it, but they're not going to like too many decisions that are made against their home side. Mal Meninga back on with the headgear. Australia now starting to dominate a little bit of possession and looking far better with the football than the opposition. Saylor again with a touch.
And Wendell Saylor being very much sought after by his opposition today, Wigan. They want him to come here and play for them. Seranen plays it on the halfway line for Walters to give up for Roberts. And Roberts is tackled now. Hasn't played for Australia against the Englishmen. He'll be keen to do that this tour. Stewart's pass, a beauty for Daly to work then with Brett Fittler. Fittler does the stepping in the centre. Walters goes on further inside the 30, and Walters is put away. Daly waves out to the extreme left and comes back to a big blindside. Now it's Meninga. Meninga taken there by Henry Paul. Or is it Tuigamala? It is the latter. 5 gone. Daly a dummy half. Goes to the open for Stewart to kick on the left foot. The reverse kick. Sailor. He's just missed it. Hall has got it for Wigan.
Oh, very good take there by Martin Hall. The planned move again. This off-year is cleaned up. When Kangaroo sides are chosen, people say it's important to choose combinations, and already we've seen the Canberra connection out there. Very, very good. Sirenen shrugged off, but hangs on eventually.
Skerritt was the man. He had to play today, really, to have a chance of playing for Great Britain. Oh! Good tackle over there by Renoff. Driving stuck. That is Farrell now. 25 out from the Wigan line. Live pictures from Central Park, Wigan. In the early hours of Australia's Sunday morning. A kick down the ground for Mullins. In the deep. He takes it and comes back. Good work by Tuigamala. Pick Mullins off. He's been a real target, Mullins, in the 2 matches we've seen so far. Sailor having the dickens of a time getting up to play it. Clyde. Only a youngster, but he's almost a veteran in these colours. Walters now using Stewart. Stewart shapes to give it inside. A chance here for Wigan. Paul gets it away. Bodica can't handle. Knock-on has been ruled.
Yeah, a bit of loose play there by Australia on that occasion, and Wigan had a chance. If that pass had been held, they could have been under the sticks. So the referee has ruled not the double knock-on. He's ruled that Australia will get this feed.
I'm just wondering whether Wigan actually had an advantage. And now it's a penalty to Australia. And this will be a differential penalty as Edwards is called out for being firstly offside, but more importantly for a little jostle up with Stewart. There was nothing in it. So this referee, in contrast to Wednesday night, has given Australia a real good go. Chap we had on Wednesday night, I think he had us 5-1 down inside the first 5 minutes. Walters it is taking the tap. They're about 10 metres inside Wigan's area of play. And for my money, the man of the match from Wednesday just played the ball, Michael Hancock. Not too far in advance of this fellow, Dean Pay. What a corker of a game in his first Australian set of colours as Meninga puts it down.
It's the second time in as many minutes. The cutout pass, not expected. Fittler going across the face of Clyde, and that just put Mal Meninga off that little bit. The pass went low to Meninga anyway, so it was always going to be a difficult one to catch. But with Clyde in the way, it became an impossibility.
Wigan coming up with the scrum win, and Bodica gets an angled run back by Tuigamala. Clark a dummy half. Edwards uses it on the right of the ground, and then a face pass. Bodica caught and passed in one motion, and Paul tried to get a pass away. It was going to be some show of skills had he been able to achieve it. Now Edwards has been penalised again. He's all over the man playing the ball. He was on the Australian side of the play the ball, and the penalty has been given. Fittler pushes it on for Daly. They leave Meninga on the right and go inside for Clyde. Very busy start by Bradley Clyde. Roberts up the centre. 32 metres away from the Wigan line. 6-0 Australia. Stewart lets Sirenen go. Daly looks for a gap. Renoff is through the gap. Edwards is after. One fend, then another. And he's put down 7 metres from the line. Renoff playing it. Hancock dummy half. Stewart's with it. A dummy to the blind. He comes to the open. And here comes Dean Pay up the centre. Pay. 9 metres out from the line. Daly, face pass, Clyde, Mullins, then away for Renoff, it's forward.
Oh, bad luck for the Aussies. Steve Renoff, he carved him up there a couple of minutes ago. That's the Steve Renoff we all know. Lovely You see, whenever Australia throws an inside pass, there's always space there. On this occasion, that one not taken, or a forward pass there by Mullins. So the second try goes begging.
It always looked as though it was going to be the problem for Wigan. Henry Paul and Tuigamala in the centres. Steve Renouf came up with a couple of great tackles early on, but he's now starting to find his feet in attack. Straight through Henry Paul, pushed off Shaun Edwards. They're looking very dangerous. Jason Robinson will earn his side a penalty here. High tackle from Brett Mullins ruled.
So Farrell, the second rower, finding the sideline. Pardon me. As the tap is taken, and Skerritt is put down about 32 metres out from his line. Clark runs the decoy for Betts, and Betts is put down by Sirinen over the top of Walters. Farrell right up the centre. Good run by Farrell. I thought he was running a decoy. He had his hands up as though he was surrendering. Clark back inside. Edwards, Betts. Sirinen tries to take him. Australia surges in. The crowd, they roar. Edwards is with it. Now it's Paul. Tuigamala gets rid of Meninga. Saylor and Meninga combine to bring him down. 5 tackles have gone. Edwards to the air. It's a good-looking bomb. Hancock, he's got it safely.
That's a very good take by Michael Hancock. There was good pressure. The kick from Edwards was a fine one, as Mullins nearly goes straight through. But the kick arrived the same time as the chasers, and Steve Walters sees that there's ordinary market defence. Finds Hancock, who finds Clyde.
Great work by the Aussies. Now Stewart. Stewart's over the halfway. Meninga's with him. So is Saylor. Inside for Meninga. And Connolly brings him down. 10 metres from the line.
Numbers to the left.
Stewart at dummy half. Well, Connolly's given the penalty, surely.
Oh, play on.
Well, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, that ruling. Dennis Betts comes away. Martin Offia. Almost to the 40-metre line. Skerritt winds up now. Sirinen meets him with pay. This crowd lending an amazing background to the game as Edwards toes it ahead. Hall and Clark chase, but Mullins, he was there first and lost it. A great chance for Wigan coming up.
Well, Brett Mullins made a mess of that one. He's ruled a little knock on there, so Wigan will get the feed, but Shaun Edwards taking it upon himself to get this Wigan side going. A little kick, the follow through, and no support, so he did the next best thing. Unfortunately, he had no pacemen chasing, only a hooker and a back rower.
If you're finding it difficult to get through the line, the little kick is the danger play. Saw that Ricky Stewart was up in the line for once, has spent most of his time marshalling the troops from behind, and that's one of his favourite ploys, Shaun Edwards. Unusual setup from the scrum here. We've got a scrum in centre field. All the players except Jason Robinson, the winger, on the left-hand side. That's the way they go through Clark.
Clark put away. 9 metres out from the line. Chance for Wigan to come back level. Paul it is, 2 metres from the line. Betts and Cowie, they work to the blind side, but only as decoys. Edwards will play it, a loose pass. That's a bit of pressure off the Australians. Boddicker away for Betts now. Betts taken down, 11 metres out. Robinson has come off his wing to work on the open side. Here's Robinson, he's over. Oh, that's a great try by the young right winger for Wigan.
Oh, what a kid he is. We saw him score a great try for Wigan against Brisbane in the World Club Challenge. And look at this one, too easy. A little gap there. Unfortunately, Ricky Stewart, a very ordinary miss by him. And Wigan get their first try on the board. But Jason Robinson, there was nothing doing for this Wigan team. They've been potting around, not going forward. And he just took it upon himself to go whooshka. And Ricky Stewart is at marker, and Robinson comes in. The defence hadn't come up. They're all hanging back there. Look, there's the gap. And Stewart, ordinary.
Oh, very ordinary. When you say that Stewart came up with a missed tackle, got no support at all from his forwards coming off the line. Steve Walters is back on the try line. And an enormous hole there for the winger, and he can play, Jason Robinson. Pushes through Stewart, but the defence had to be coming out. That's where you've got to be intense. That's where you've got to be sprinting up to meet the opposition. And Jason Robinson looks like he might have played soccer at school.
He's only worn the one cap for Great Britain. He has scored 11 tries in 30 games for Wigan. Scored a glorious try, you might recall, in the World Club Challenge at Brisbane in June at ANZ. And now the attempt at conversion from arguably the world's greatest goal kicker, Frano Botica. He's worth more than 10 points a game. And here's this shot from 12 metres in, not leaving the line. Wigan draw level with the Kangaroos.
Take on a tough job in tough country, and you usually have to get there on all fours. But when that's not enough, you just have to use your muscle. That's why the Mitsubishi Triton 4x4 cab chassis comes with all the muscle of a big V6. And if you can't rely on a big V6 with four-wheel drive to get you there, who can you rely on?
Back on the reception of the Wigan crowd, applauding a good run by Farrell. And now the second on the new set of 6 for Betts. 6 points all the scoreline. We came here expecting something special, and that's what we're seeing. In front of a packed house at Central Park, Skerritt plays it. Clark. He takes it out 42 metres away from his own line, and 4 tackles have gone. Betts with his second header on this set.
Well, the referee told Laurie Daly and Mal Meninga they were offside. They paid no attention and have now paid the penalty, giving away exactly that. 20 metres out, the momentum has turned, and the crowd are lifting this Wigan side.
The tap sees Cowie work with Hall. Across through Edwards for Botica. An angle offered by Tuigamala. Paul is with it. He's away from Renouf and put away on the 20-metre line by Serenan and Stewart. Second tackle now. Edwards back to the blind side for Farrell. Farrell away from Fittler the first time. He and Renouf eventually making the tackle. 12 metres out from the line. It's with Clark and now Betts. Dennis Betts gets the pass out. Clark onto Edwards. Then to Botica. Botica away for Tuigamala. And he's put down by Saylor and Meninga. Dummy half Cowie. Botica shows it. Then he gives it for Hall. Hall stands. Back for Clark. Then for Edwards. Now it's away for Skerritt.
Oh, what about the elbow?
Skerritt's had the elbow straight up.
He's got to go for that.
Well, I'll bet you he doesn't. But Paul Serenan appears to have taken this flush on the chin. And that is a send-off offence.
Well, it'll be a brave decision by the referee in front of this Wigan crowd, but he's going to pull something out of his pocket here. I don't think it's a rabbit. It's a yellow card. He's in the bin.
Rabbit's up here.
Well, what's he doing? Tell me where I've gone wrong. Giving a sin bin to a foul play I'm talking about. The sin bin's for professional fouls, not foul play. I mean, what's happened to the rule book?
Well, that's the thing that the Australian sides have to put up with on tour, Ray, is the different interpretation. I know exactly what you're saying. As Paul points out, would have been a brave decision to send him. A sailor gets involved now. I thought they showed great composure, the Australians, not to go on with that.
I'll tell you what, they needed the penalty too, Australia. They were in a spot of bother there. Wendell Saylor now still fighting in the tackle.
So they go away for Pay and then for Fittler. There's numbers on the left. Stewart. Pulled down by Clark.
I tell you, Ray, he's really struggling out there, Ricky Stewart. He appears as though he hasn't had much football lately. We said that he hasn't played since the grand final. He copped a little bit of a rib injury in that game. He's struggling with the pace of the game out there, spending all his time in the second line.
Now it's Meninga on the halfway line. 6 points all. And about 23 minutes of the match has gone as Stewart's kick goes down into the bottom corner for Connolly to bring it back. Saylor is with him, showed him the sideline. Offia. Clark. Arguably the best player in the Wigan side is Clark. Robinson, the try scorer. 22 metres out from his own line. Offia using Betts. Now Bodica. Chiwigamala. Taken by Fittler. The pass was forward. And the referee saw it.
And the referee just ruled 6 again. The ball was actually touched by Steve Renouf. So that's a big let-off for the Australians. You see there that Henry Paul is motioning the referee that it was touched. It was touched earlier by Renouf. Nothing to do with that last pass. And now the Australian backline set very deep.
So Stewart with the long pass away for Daly, and he goes back in looking for Renouf. Renouf pulled down. He's looked a bit sluggish in the 2 matches we've seen him, Steve Renouf. Not so this fellow, Bradley Clyde. Pulled down 20 metres out from the Wigan line. The second tackle is gone. This is the third. Fittler does the dancing, and he's pulled up 10 metres out from the line. So then the fourth tackle. Stewart's calling it to the right, and then off his hip comes Clyde, and he's pulled down about 3 metres away from the line. 2 remaining. It's on for Stewart, and now Dean Pay. Oh, the Canterbury forward goes in to score. What a beautiful pass by Ricky Stewart.
Yes, I said Stewart might have been struggling, not with the ball in his hands. A lovely flat pass to Dean Pay, went straight through Clark and the hooker Hall, hitting the ball almost on the advantage line, and again scoring a very good try close to the post. Dean Pay really making every post a winner over here. Played great football so far on tour, and that's exactly what Australia needed. They were struggling. You see Stewart, cut-out pass. The staggered defence of the Wigan defensive line helped him, and straight through, and another easy conversion, this time Meninga.
Well, it's one of those situations where in defence you're going up on the line and the player coming towards you hasn't got the football and he's nearly at the line. All of a sudden it lands on his chest and he's gone straight through the gap. So lovely ball by Stewart, and Dean Pay also having a big game today as Mal Meninga comes in, puts the goal over.
He certainly does that, and he makes the score Australia 12, Wigan 6, and 25 minutes have gone. Pictures today coming to us through the courtesy of BBC. In fact, BBC covering this match live across Great Britain.
Well, here you can see Ricky Stewart. A pass there that went flat quickly to Pay, and there was just a chink in the armour of the Wigan defence there.
Bodica with the restart now. Mullins gets underneath it, and Seranen takes it back. Wigan with just 12 men at the moment. Skerritt in the sin bin for foul play. Work that out and you know more about the game than I. Fittler to play it now. 18 metres away from the Aussie line. Clyde taking the pass on the advantage line almost. But they've done well to get themselves outside the 20-metre zone. And here's Roberts, the workhorse that he is. Playing it back for Walters, and now for Stewart. Stewart keeping it low on the right foot. Down for Gary Connolly. Connolly almost beating Meninga, but the captain came again to make the tackle.
Wigan have made a change in 16. Mick Cassidy has gone out there. Neil Cowie has left the field. Centre field now. That's Cassidy in the headgear.
40 metres away from their own line. Wigan down 6 points. They get a penalty. Edwards takes a quick shot for the line. They'll take the tap about 38 metres out from the Australian line. Hall, the hooker, uses Robinson. Scored the try, the youngster. He's only 20 years of age. Plays it now 30 metres away from the Kangaroos line. From Edwards, a floating pass for Bodica. Paul can't take it. Meninga's got the ball for Australia.
Well, it's a very complicated move there by Wigan. They couldn't handle it. Martin Offey is the fastest man on the field. May as well have my kid out there. He's done nothing, and it doesn't look like doesn't want any involvement whatsoever in this football match so far.
Again, it's with Ian Roberts. And he's able to offload and promote the ball for Dean Pay. And Pay is over the halfway line. He was looking for support. Nobody was there. And now Walters answering the call from Stewart. Stewart comes back to the blind. Daly is there. Now Meninga. Now Mullins. Mullins has got his foot on the pedal. Oh, beautiful tackle. And then the pass goes across to Edwards from Offia. They're back on their 20-metre line.
Henry Paul came up with the timely tackle as Tuigamala, his centre partner, loses the football. Australia come up through Steve Walters, and again they've got numbers to the left if they can get a quick play of the ball.
Well, they didn't quite get that, and Roberts gives the pass on for Stewart. It's now with Brad Fittler. Fittler steps away from Bodica, but he's pulled down by one of the other forwards. It was Cassidy. Now from Renouf for Sirenen on the blind side, and Sirenen goes down under the tackle of Connolly. They're 10 metres out from the Wigan line. They lead 12-6. Stewart's pass, 20 metres to Daly. There goes Meninga back inside, and Meninga is held 10 metres out. Centre of the ground. Played back for Walters. Stewart is with it. Now Daly. Mullins was on his right-hand side. Inside him was Dean Pay. And this is the last now. Pay finds himself a dummy half. Stewart across the ground with the bomb. Looking for Renouf. Looking for Hancock. Down it comes, and it's been ruled as being offside, the Australians.
He's got them for offside out there. They were hanging around it there like vultures. Renouf and Hancock waiting for that one. Ian Roberts here on the chase as well. 3 against 1 there. Unluckily, though, for Australia, they were offside. Every time Wigan take this ball up, Australia are hurting them in defence. Sirenen and Roberts, they're really punishing the Great Britain, or the Wigan ball runners.
But with 8 minutes to go until half-time, important now for the Englishmen that they hang on and don't allow another try. Need a good set of 6 here and a good kicking game, and somehow they've got to get Martin Offia involved, whether it be through the hands or kicking down to his wing and let him chase.
Cassidy it is. Now Betts. 35 metres out from his own line. 12-6 in favour of Australia. Dean Pay got 1 try, Bradley Clyde the other. And Jason Robinson scored the try for Wigan. Daly kicked 1 goal, Meninga the other. As Edwards uses Cassidy, but very disjointed play. Nobody really knowing who was meant to get it or where they were supposed to go. Clark throws the ball out the back. Hall gets it on for Connolly. Well, total disorganisation. Connolly to play it near the halfway line on 5. Betts, he puts the kick in. Hancock goes back and brings it away himself. They show him the sideline. He wants no part of it. Throws the pass away for Mullins. He took 3 defenders out of the game, Hancock. Mullins gets it away for Renouf, and Renouf is tackled and pulled down by Edwards. 35 metres out from the line. Mullins on for Stewart. They go back and across for Fittler. Fittler has Clyde with him. He's pulled down. Edwards is injured for Wigan. Walters on now for Roberts. Roberts, oh, what a pass! Daly! He scores! 3rd try for Australia.
What a great ball by Ian Roberts. The crowd didn't like it. They think it was a forward pass, but sensational play. Drifted across the field and found Laurie Daly at full pace. All the Wigan players stopped. They thought it was going to be pulled up. The referee looked long and hard, looked at his touch judge for some hint of help, but there was nothing coming. So Australia now starting to run away with this game. Drifts across field. That's the big play. From here, it did look forward. I think it was Laurie Daly did well to get around Connolly, but he was going at full speed.
Yeah, I think the crowd and the Wigan players have every right to blow a bet that one. It looked a mile forward. Roberts going across with the ball in the right arm. I don't think there was any doubt that Laurie Daly ended up taking the ball in front of the man passing it. Too much speed for Gary Connolly, who tried the ankle tap. Daly scores wide out, looks back, and that's only a couple of minutes out from half-time, so a great time to score for the Australians.
So Mal Meninga will attempt conversion of the Daly try. Wigan still with only 12 men. Significantly, we've scored 2 tries. Whilst is Skerrett back now, Paul? Meninga then from 21 out, 10 in from touch. Struck it nicely, and the captain gets 2 further points for Australia. Australia leading now by 18 points to 6.
Well, let's just have a look. This should show up perfectly where the pass goes. Let's have a look at the line. Well, I think it's forward.
No doubt about it.
But it's nice to see a bit of luck going the Aussies' way.
So Boddicker with the restart. Down for Mullins, who gets down on his knees to take it, and Stirranen goes back. And Skerrett had a shot at him with the left arm high, and Skerrett comes away clutching at his left wrist. 30 metres out from the Australian line. Something about Paul Stirranen's head that is attracting Skerrett's attention. Walters is tackled now. He's made some great runs, Steve Walters, from dummy half. Fittler for Daly. Meninga's with him. The kick is there for Wendell Sailor. Offia gets away from Meninga. Now the crowd starts to roar, but Offia is pulled down without offering very much.
I doubt that Kelvin Skerrett will be out there too much longer, Ray. Jason Robinson again gets involved. Having real trouble with that left wrist. He's already looked at the bench a couple of times. He might wait until half-time as Clark finds Boddicker. But good defence again, this time Fittler. He leaves now, Skerrett.
So Edwards works it back into the centre for Farrell. As Wigan send Barry McDermott into the game, taking the place of Skerrett. And here's Edwards working back to Farrell, who was standing there after having played the ball. And he was an easy target for the Australians. This is the 5th tackle for Wigan now, as Edwards goes to the air and across. Sailor's under it. Wendell Sailor. Now Mullins. Looking for space. Walters at dummy half. 5 metres on their side of the halfway. Stewart on for Pay, and now for Renouf. Renouf! A dazzling turn of speed, and he's away. The Broncos centre gets the try.
Great work from Steve Renouf, but the problem for the Wigan side there was that both of their centres, Tuigamala and Henry Paul, were on the other side of the field. You cannot, in this day and age, play unless you've got centre aside. I think it was Andy Farrell who was out there with Jason Robinson and put Steve Renouf up against those 2 players. Good pass from Dean Pay. The hooker slipped as well, so it was Martin Hall out there also. But we had Steve Renouf running at 3 forwards and 1 winger. He'll beat them all day.
Well, he's fired up today, hasn't he, Steve Renouf? And Dean Pay's having a whale of a game. A nice ball into the gap, and Steve Renouf found it, and away he went. Never in doubt there. And the Wigan defence, there's so many gaps out there. I reckon you'd make a break, Rabs.
Oh, hang on.
Corindai Grasshopper days.
Hang on.
Turn it up.
Gee, it is a side, isn't it? Steve Renouf in full flight. The longer the game's gone, the better he has looked, especially with the football.
Yeah, I made the comment earlier, I don't back away from it. I thought he looked a bit sluggish against Leeds, and probably a bit sluggish early in this game. But he saw some space then, and he showed them what he's made of. Meninga and Renouf, they look remarkably alike in the headgear, but of course one is a hell of a lot larger than the other. Mal Meninga, his 4th Kangaroo tour, only player to do that, and the only captain to bring 2 touring sides away. And there he is from 21 metres out across the face of the uprights. So no change to the scoreline. Australia 22, Wigan 6. And as was the case the other night, Leeds, there's the try from the high shot. And Renouf coming back off his left foot into space. And as Peter pointed out, they failed to get a centre aside. And that man, Renouf, gets his first try of the match. Scored against Leeds the other night. Now Boddicker goes for the shallow restart. Roberts gets under it. That's play on for Wigan. Edwards goes to the centre. Fittler comes across in cover. And they're 30 metres away from the Australian line. Raked back by Australia. Play on, says the referee. Sirenen gets a beautiful pass away for Renouf. Renouf tackled. 5 metres into Wigan's area. The Riversiders getting a caning at the moment. Stewart is with it. A small pass for Clyde. Clyde goes back to the blind side. Swivels out of one, taken then by a barrage of Wigan defence. Nearly to half-time. Stewart across. Daly with it. Hancock off the left wing, working on the right, and ran into Tuigamala. Meninga dummy half. Roberts is with it. Roberts works tirelessly up the centre, and oftentimes his efforts go unnoticed. Walters on for Fittler. Fittler trying to step them. Got a one-hander back to Walters, then for Sirenen. Sirenen takes the tackle, gets it on for Pay. Dean Pay having a bottler of a game. He's tackled 20 metres out on 5. Now, Stewart, what will he do? He decides for the little kick, looking for Mullins. Robinson comes off his wing. And the line dropout will restart if, in fact, there is time for the restart. So Clyde scored at the 2nd minute. Bobby Fulton heading back for the dressing rooms. Pay after 25. Daly after 32. Renouf after 36. And Wigan's try came at the 17th minute. They levelled up at 6 points all. But then Skerritt went to the sin bin. And Australia opened Wigan up. And that's pretty much what they've been doing for the second 20 minutes of the first half. Stewart sending it for Clyde to work up the middle. 40 minutes has expired, but we're in extra time now. Fittler probing. 40-metre line as he plays the ball, and it's with Stewart now. A small pass out for Meninga. Meninga wrestling there with Tuigamala and Boddicker.
Been a good battle by those two today, Meninga and Tuigamala. They almost look like brothers as Walters runs again from dummy half.
Pass out to Sirenen. Round the back for Stewart. Kicks for himself. Stewart kicks again. Robinson goes back and will make the field of play. Bit of a dust-up in back play. Sirenen involved. And I believe the other player involved was Barry McDermott. Well, Ciro has had a busy day. He's had Kelvin Skerritt hanging around his head for the most part. Skerritt is gone, injured. And now he's got McDermott hunting for his scalp. It could be that Sheridan's on the wrong side of this. He's very lucky that he hasn't got a broken jaw. Paul Sirenen.
The penalty's gone to Australia. Here it is here. Sirenen runs in. He's taken out by McDermott.
Ciro's going to have a headache tomorrow, that's for sure. Like hunting season.
So Australia now right near half-time, looking to put another try on the board, just brushing the kick for goal. They want more tries.
Walters coming up to take the tap. Saylor wants to get involved. He does that. Wendell Saylor taken by Hall around the legs and bets over the top with Farrell. 22 points to 6 in favour of the Kangaroos. Stewart. He cuts out pace. Sirenen. A quick pass to Fittler. On to Renouf. Now to Hancock. Hancock sets the compass and he goes in and takes another try.
And a well-deserved try too for Michael Hancock. He's had a fairly quiet first half compared to his great game the other night against Leeds. But on the end of this back line, it's just a matter of the big left foot step at the end. But good play there by the Australians. Didn't want the kick for goal. They wanted more tries. And with a matter of seconds before half-time, they've come up with one. 6 points to 6 now. And once again, Great Britain found out short. Oh, Great Britain. Well, it's the end of the Great Britain side. Wigan found short out wide. Draw and pass situation there for Steve Renouf. And it's all too easy for Michael Hancock to finish off.
So this is the try from another angle. Stewart's pass was quick and deliberate, and then it was catch and pass along the line, and the promotion saw Michael Hancock go in for his first try of the game. Meninga then 15 metres in from touch. The breeze more or less coming straight across the ground now. $26 points to 6. As Meninga strikes it, and again he's offline. So the referee indicates, I thought he was indicating half-time, but that is not the case. And it's hard to believe we've had this much time off.
Well, I know
in the first half.
Ellery Hanley's here today watching this game, the Great Britain coach. He's watching 12 of his squad go around today with the Wigan team. I bet he's got a headache. Lovely ball there by Sirenin. That was the good ball. Fittler into the gap, and then Hancock just finished it off nicely.
Isn't he having a game? Brad Fittler really linking well the forwards with the backs as Mullins picks up Sirenin. No ruling of forward on that one. This is the longest half of football I've ever seen.
Sirenin again on the ground on the end of a punishing tackle from one of the Wigan players. I think it was Cassidy.
Well, he's caught plenty today. There it was.
Oh, it's another elbow.
Forearm. And Ciro's, he's a pretty tough bloke, and he's caught plenty today. He's not like him to lay down when he's not injured. Just look at this forearm there by the 15 in McDermott. He is kidding. Got to be off. I think the referee's missed it, though. Ciro hasn't moved.
He hasn't been shown any help by his touch judges either, the man in the centre. Again, another shot of it.
Well, that's criminal. I just wonder if there's to be some retribution in the second half. Both of those hits that Paul Sirenin has received in this game, the first from Skerritt, the second from McDermott, could have broken a jaw very, very easily. You can see how groggy Sirenin is, really losing his footing. He's no good. Take him off. And they're fairly cowardly sort of acts, those kind of elbows. No protection for the ball carrier. And Meninga blowing up, and it has every right to. As we go into about the 50th minute. And David Fairley comes to the sideline. Shouldn't be out there long, but at this rate, could get a couple of minutes.
Somebody might have done the bunk with the hooter. There it is now.
Hey-ya!
Well, thank heavens for that. And thank heavens that Paul Sirenin is at least conscious. But an incredible first half of football when you consider the target practice that was levelled at Sirenin's head, and all that came from it was 10 minutes in the sin bin for Kelvin Skerritt. Quite amazing. Nevertheless, the scoreboard is refreshing. 26-6, 5 tries to Australia. Clyde, Pay, Daly, Renouf and Hancock. A break and we're back to Central Park in just a moment.
Yes, we can. What did you say? Yes, we can. Yes, we can at Cardiff, at Cardiff Toyota. We're the trusted name in our town. Oh, if you want it, you got it. Come and hear us say. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. At Cardiff Toyota. Yes, we
NEC, Northern Copiers and Galaxy Sounds offer you 2 phones at fantastic money-saving value. The first is the super efficient and utterly reliable NEC P7 with just so much more power and features, and it's yours for an unbelievable out-the-door price. The next is the NEC P310, the ultimate in telecommunications technology. A real value for money portable, and again it's yours at a genuine beat-the-others price. See these in the full NEC portable range at Northern Copiers Newcastle and Galaxy Sounds Islington.
Grow with IPC. Computer systems for home or office made by IPC. Buy direct at over 40 IPC centres. Advice, after-sales service, training and Australia's best software range. Save nearly $1,400 on a Colour 486 laptop. $3,995. Upgrade to Media Magic Stereo, $399 with encyclopedia. 13 12 16.
The new sound of 105.3 New FM.
New FM? Yeah, the music's hot. I turn it up pretty loud. New FM rocks. Love the music.
They're great. They're the best.
Terrific competition.
My sort of music.
Better than the rest. New FM, I do.
The best of the 70s, 80s and 90s. 105.3 New FM.
Do it, yes we can. What did you say? Yes we can. Yes we can at Cardiff, at Cardiff Toyota. We're the trusted name in our town. Oh, if you want it, you got it. Come and hear us say. Yes we can, yes we can, yes we can. At Cardiff Toyota, yes we can.
Monday night at the movies. Thunderheart.
Where the hell did they send us? A long way from home, Ray.
Val Kilmer.
Better keep your boy in a leash!
Sam Shepard.
Look, somebody's trying to tell us it's checkout time.
And Graham Greene from Dances with Wolves.
Chasing the wrong man. Jimmy didn't do it.
Sent to investigate a murder.
Nobody's gonna talk to me.
In the most hostile place on earth.
It was a good day to die.
For the first time on NBN.
Put your seatbelt on.
Thunderheart, 8:30 Monday on NBN.
A few problems early for the Kangaroos as we come to you live from Central Park. But after about 10 minutes, and especially with Kelvin Skerritt going to the sin bin, the Australians have opened up a pretty big lead here at halftime, 26 points to 6 over Wigan. And as I say, Paul Vaughton, the first 10 minutes, it looked to be a very, very competitive game. Once Skerritt went, 2 tries were scored, big lead. Yeah, Wigan went pretty well for that first quarter of the match, but Australia, too much pace, the power too superior in that department as well. The forwards have really gone well. Fittler, Surinan, Roberts up front, and the backs have run the tries in. Pete's been a great performance by Australia. Now, having said that Wigan were competitive for the first 10 minutes, it was very early in the game that the first try was scored. Beautiful combination between the Canberra players that have come into this Kangaroo lineup. The reverse pass from Ricky Stewart, and eventually under the posts went Brad Clyde.
Walters again, a dummy half. They've used up most of this set of 6. Here's Bradley Clyde! Clyde all the way!
The crowd have gone very quiet. Bradley Clyde, with about his second touch of the football this afternoon, has strolled across. Beautiful lead-up play from Ricky Stewart. A planned move. The reverse pass that we see so often with the Canberra team. Well, too easy, isn't it? The Wigan defence, just like Leeds the other night, always susceptible on the inside when the players don't come over. They're lazy in defence here, and very easy there for Bradley Clyde. The back row for Australia has been outstanding. Bradley Clyde, Brad Fittler, really playing some great football out there. But it was Wigan that did hit back, Paul, and one of the exciting players in the English competition, their winger, Jason Robinson, really made the Australian defence look very ordinary. He got this try out of nothing, didn't he? There was nothing happening. Wigan, when they had the football early, they really weren't doing much with it. They were going nowhere from side to side without going forward, but Jason Robinson decided to go forward and got a try out of it. Yes, no intensity from the Australian defence. Robinson coming in off the wing, and eventually it was the try to Jason Robinson.
Robinson has come off his wing to work on the open side. Here's Robinson. He's over. Oh, that's a great try by the young right winger for Wigan.
Oh, what a kid he is. We saw him score a great try for Wigan against Brisbane in the World Club Challenge. And look at this one, too easy. A little gap there. Unfortunately, Ricky Stewart, a very ordinary miss by him. And an enormous hole there for the winger, and he can play, Jason Robinson.
pushes through Stewart, but the defence had to be coming out. That's where you've got to be intense. That's where you've got to be sprinting up to meet the opposition. Well, the last thing that the Englishman needed after getting back into the game was to be left a player short. And shortly after that, Kelvin Skerritt, their front rower, should have been sent off for an elbow on Paul Sirenen. He was sin-binned for the 10 minutes, and with that player off the field, made it very easy for the Australians. Good combination again. Dean Pays had an outstanding game out there, finally crossed for one himself. Well,
he's had a great tour, hasn't he? He was one of their best against Leeds the other night. He's stepped up a bit of class today against the Wigan pack, and he's really led the way for Australia, and the way he hit this ball at speed, got through the gap, was great. Yeah, the quality of the pass here from Ricky Stewart, flat and hard, found Pay, he scored the try.
About 3 metres away from the line, 2 remaining, it's on for Stewart, and now Dean Pay! Oh, the Canterbury forward goes in to score. What a beautiful pass by Ricky Stewart.
Yes, I said Stewart might have been struggling, not with the ball in his hands. A lovely flat pass to Dean Pay, went straight through Clark and the hooker Hall.
Well, it's one of those situations where in defence you're going up on the line and the player coming towards you hasn't got the football and he's nearly at the line. All of a sudden it lands on his chest and he's gone straight through the gap.
Really has come on as a player. Dean Pay was a reserve grader at times for Canterbury a couple of years ago, but he's come into this Kangaroo touring side in the uncustomary position at times in the front row. He may well get a spot in the test, one of the 17.
Well, he's gained confidence with playing with these sensational players that surround him. I think that's helped his play over here. He loves the conditions. You know, it's not as fast here. It's slowed down to his sort of speed, and he's having a great tour so far.
Well, talking about sensational players, Laurie Daly got the next try. A little bit of doubt about this one. I thought it was forward from Ian Roberts. The referee was in reasonable position. An offload to Roberts. Daly did the rest, beat Connolly, and finally crossed wide out.
Walters on now for Roberts. Roberts, oh, what a pass! Daly! Daly! He scores! Third try for Australia!
What a great ball by Ian Roberts. The crowd didn't like it. They think it was a forward pass.
Yeah, I think the crowd and the Wigan players have every right to blow off about that one. It looked a mile forward. Roberts going across with the ball in the right arm. I don't think there was any doubt that Laurie Daly ended up taking the ball in front of the man passing it. Too much speed for Gary Connolly, who tried the ankle tap. That was Australia's third try. Renouf and Hancock rounded out the try scoring in the first half. 26 points to 6 here at Wigan. We'll take a break now and be back with the second half. The Kangaroos up against the club champions, Wigan.
The year's most electrifying new cinema release is Clear and Present Danger.
England is going to want it, and that is where we must strike.
From the same #1 selling author.
You just waded on in like John Wayne.
Comes the original white knuckle thriller.
Rage. Pure rage.
For the first time on television.
Let's do it. Get off the highway right now.
Toyota brings to you.
Post him back to Whitehall in little pieces.
Harrison Ford.
I want back in.
Patriot Games. Tonight, 8:30 on Channel 9.
Songs of Love record. Where will I find another one? Yellow Pages, of course. Thank you, darling.
Who's got everything? Thrifty discounts. For bathroom renovators. Thrifty discounts. For kitchen updaters. Thrifty discounts. For plumbing operators. Thrifty discounts. If you're not shopping thrifty, you're not saving money. At Kempsey and Granville, the big green place. Who's got everything? Thrifty discounts. For bathroom renovators. Kitchen updaters. Plumbing operators. Who's got everything?
Beamy Street, Kempsey, and Parramatta Road, Granville.
Thrifty discounts.
Welcome back with the kick-off in flight and taken by Atchison back adjacent to his own uprights. Farrell is banged into the ground. And welcome back wherever you're watching us. TV3 in New Zealand. It's lovely to have you with us. 26 points to 6 in favour of Australia. 5 tries to 1. And I'm just wondering whether or not this Wigan side can find anything at all to try and equal the scales. Offia plays it. He's had a very subdued game. And that is Clark.
Well, it looks as though they've had a big change at half-time. Wigan. Frano Bodica hasn't come out. Atchison goes to fullback. Robinson looks like he's still on the wing, but Connolly moves up into the centres. So that will probably mean Henry Paul may move closer to the action, but they'll miss Bodica both for his general play and, of course, his goal kicking.
And probably more important than that, this man, David Fairley, is on, taking the place of Paul Sirenen. So Walters working it across to the right of the ground for Dean Pay. Playing front row. He's accustomed to second row mainly, but there doesn't seem to be any problem for Dean Pay. He can make the adjustment as Meninga adjusts his step and comes back up the centre. Walters to Stewart and Daly. Mullins is coming up on the outside of Clyde, and the ball finishes up with Renoff. Mullins overrunning it. 5 tackles gone. Dummy half Brad Fittler. Edwards goes out searching for Stewart, who puts it up high. Off Roberts, back for Renoff. Down on the ground for Clyde. But Atchison comes up with it, and the referee says we'll have a scrum.
The high kick from Stewart. He was under pressure from Edwards. Roberts was onside. Renoff, he tried to kick the football. Knows that it wasn't touched, or didn't believe it was touched by the Englishman. No, in fact, it was just knocked out. As Atchison gets involved, the second man play. That's McDermott. Strong run straight over the top of Clyde.
McDermott, one of the off-season purchases by Wigan. He's in the Great Britain squad. Here's the try scorer, young Jason Robinson. He's a real little dynamo, Robinson. Clark turns it in. Farrell works up the centre. He's more than just a second row forward, and a big one. Farrell, he's a very confident goal kicker. Pass from Edwards forward for Hall. Now to Wigamala. Kick over the top. He wins the battle for the ball, and he scores. Oh, that is one heck of a try. That is one hell of a try.
What a great try by Twigamalo. It's come out of nothing. The crowd love it. They love him here. He's become a crowd favourite in his short stint so far after coming from rugby union. And what a fantastic effort by him. Did it all on his own, because once again, Wigan not going forward with the football. Sean Edwards refused to run. That came from a forward pass. Now Twigamalo's got it 40 and 50 metres out. He's beaten one, the little kick. Fairley's there, Saylor's there. He pushes them both out of the way and then gets inside Mullins.
Oh, great strength. Twigamalo, magnificent skills. And what about the way he just brushes straight through Saylor and Clyde? Not an easy task. Goes over the top with the little kick, bursts through, gets the bounce. Great strength. Inga, the ex-winger, scores wide out. Exactly what the Englishmen needed early in this second half. That'll lift their spirits. A difficult kick here. And as we said at half-time, Frano Bodica not back out.
Farrell then from the touchline. Just offline. So Wigan take first points in the second half. They trail 26-10. Something special from Twigamala.
Of all the airlines in the world, only one has received the industry's highest award for safety twice. Because we've always believed that the services you don't see are just as important as those you do.
Dennis Betts tackled on the second of this set of 6 as you return. And are we watching the return of Wigan in this game? Clark 30 metres out from his line. Robinson the run around with Edwards. No gain in ground. They changed their locality though to the centre of the ground. Dennis Betts looking for runners. Farrell is there. Fairley meets him up the top. Walters underneath. 5 are gone now. They haven't done very well here, Wigan. They're still only 30 out from their own line. And Atchison's kick, a good long kick, and Mullins comes back. Connolly puts him away.
And the high kick in the second half for Wigan is going to be a very good tactic. Mullins, as the ball was coming near him, had the hand over the eyes. Believe it or not, the sunny north of England, the sun was in the eyes. So I would imagine Shaun Edwards would be looking to put some high ones up.
Wendell Saylor then. Just beyond his own 40-metre line. Walter's got a decoy run from Stewart. And that really allowed him to make that 7-metre run. The last, Stewart across for Daly. Daly puts it into Atchison, back on his own line. Daly puts them all onside, and Atchison is tackled by Fittler. Clark, Robinson. As I said earlier, he's only a little fella, but he's a bit like Michael Hancock in many respects. He refuses to be tackled. Now McDermott! 40 metres out from his line. He's compact, McDermott. Very nuggety. Built a bit like an Alan Cann. Halfway mark. Edwards tries to splice through. Signed for Wigan on his 17th birthday. And he's played more than 40 matches per year in the 10 years since. That's a lot of football. 40 a year. Hancock.
There's a lot of conjecture in England as to who the halfbacks will be at Wembley for the first test. Shaun Edwards. As Australia go wide, trick Clyde.
Slides into space on the right. He's got Saylor outside him. Meninga inside him. And the pass is a shocker. Clark is with it. Sorry, Peter.
My mail is that Gary Schofield will miss out on the starting lineup. And that Darryl Powell will be the 5'8" with Shaun Edwards at half in the national side.
Offer you now. Offer you with almost a fragile run. Cassidy now. Tackled by Daly down low. Meninga over the top. Dummy half Hall. On for Edwards. Back to the blind. Farrell goes up the centre. And he's put away about 3 metres into Australia's area. Away from Hall now. Dummy half. Long run out for Paul. He puts the kick in behind them. Mullins stoops down and recovers. He beats Paul. Then he goes between two. And another two. And Mullins is away. Clark is chasing. They won't catch him. Mullins gets the try.
Shades of Newcastle Stadium, isn't it? Brett Mullins. What a great year he's had. And a very ordinary kick to start with there from Henry Paul. Was a nothing kick. Turned into a 4-pointer for Australia. Brett Mullins finishes it off nicely. Once again, just a pure speed machine. Gets away from 3, 4, and now 5 Wigan players. No one looked like getting him. Phil Clark chased in vain. But great play by Brett Mullins.
This early in the game, the Wigan chase on kicks was pretty good. They were coming down in one straight line. The further this game has gone, the more staggered that kick chase has turned out to be. And Brett Mullins, once he gets in a situation where the defenders are coming down not in a straight line, he's going to hurt you. Talked about Renouf being a great side in full flight. What about this kid? Hasn't he come on in the last 12 months? It really looks as though he's made the Australian fullback job his own for a long, long time.
I noticed that Laurie Daly lining up this kick, so Australia's goal-kicking problems. Mal's missed a couple today. David Furner kicked 6 from 9 the other night. He kicked well, and Rod Wishart kicked 8 from 9 in his first game.
So Laurie Daly scored his own try, a controversial one in the first half. There's his kick, and it's offline. So no addition to the scoreline. Australia now leading by 30 points to 10.
Lotto's jackpotted this Thursday to $2 million.
It's a bit quiet tonight.
Yeah. Must be something big on.
Add Monday's million, and that's a $3 million week.
Critics are hailing Oliver Stone's Natural Born Killers as dazzling, a stylistic tour de force, the greatest film of the 90s. Woody Harrelson, Juliette Lewis, Natural Born Killers.
Second tackle for Australia from the restart. And this is David Fairley on for Paul Sirenen. And our information on Paul is that he's heavily concussed. The marker's split. Walters goes down the ground. Fairley chimes in. Behind him, screaming for the ball. You know who? Dean Pay. There he is, a dummy half. Away for Stewart now. On to Daly. Daly steps inside another. That of Chuigamala. And he's tackled 30 metres out from the line. Australia with a lot of personnel off to the left of the ground. Sailor takes one to the centre. 5 gone. Now Stewart indicates they'll go to the air. Walters to dummy half. It's with Ricky Stewart. And there's the kick. Out wide for Michael Hancock. Robinson underneath it. And he's grounded. Back in the field of play.
Oh, brave take there by Jason Robertson. He's having a big game for the Wigginers. He was under all sorts of pressure by Michael Hancock, but took it well.
This is Hall. A fine deputy for Martin Dermott, who I think I'm right in saying to you hasn't played since the game against the Broncos in June.
They've had a couple of injury worries. Wigan, Barry John Mather, who scored a try in that same game, the big centre, also has not played this year. So that's forced some changes as Farrell throws the dummy inside straight through Daly. No, he comes again.
38 metres out from their own line. Chuigamala scored one of the best opportunist tries or solo tries you'll ever see. Only just a matter of 10 minutes back in the game.
He was a touch unlucky there, Laurie Daly. The slowness of the play of the ball forced him to go from marker and be offside. Chuigamala was hurt in that tackle. Got up, motioned as though he was going to play the football and slowed down. Daly was off.
So this very big crowd watching Australia lead by 30 points to 10. The second ball getting onto the ground. But even though they're well and truly down, none of them look like leaving. You follow Wigan, you follow them to the death. And I think there might be close on 30,000 of them here today. Across to the blind side for Edwards to work it on for Betts. Short pass then for Atchison. 15 metres away from the Australian line. Edwards coming across, scouting, looking for openings. Gap closed by Fittler and Fairley. Away from Hall. Now for Paul. This is Offia. Offia gets a short pass up for Connolly. 5 tackles gone. Away from the right-hand side of the ground. It goes from Paul, and he puts it high off the right boot. Underneath it there was Meninga. A little hesitation in the commentary. As I said, he in the headgear with that head wound early in the game, and ran off. From a distance, they can look very similar.
Well, if Laurie Daly was offside moments ago, Sean Edwards was as well. Meninga knew that. He motioned to the referee. Play on. Wendell Sailor tackled centre field. The second tackle, Ian Roberts now takes the ball out. Short offload to Brad Fittler.
30 points to 10. 14 minutes gone, second half. Renouf looking for the gap. Renouf finds the gap. Connolly comes after him and makes the tackle. Crowd didn't like the referee's ruling, his interpretation of the last Australian play the ball. Pay, Fairley. The ball is on the ground, it'll be play on. Well, he's going to rule a knock on.
No, it should have been play on. It came off Martin Hall, that football. It should have been 6 to go, as a matter of fact. So he's messed up there. But we talked about some of the good Australian players today. We've probably forgotten a little bit about Steve Walters, how much ground he's made from dummy half. Whenever he's decided to have a go, he's really opened them up. Sean Edwards now has just started to run to the line a little bit, and it's about time, because he's got to start creating something for his outside men, put the Australian defence in 2 minds.
Well, a penalty there from the scrum for Wigan. And again, the man they've got to get involved is on the far side of the field. He's probably spent more time at dummy half passing the football and getting involved in running it, and that's Martin Offia. You see there a premature strike by Ian Roberts, pulled up by the referee. Good chance now for the Englishman.
Roberts Roberts having a stand-up argument with David Campbell, the referee.
Yeah, you'd want to be careful here. Somebody's got to come and grab him and take him away. Mal's got to get over there quickly, or Stewart, Daly. No good arguing. The decision's been made. Referee ruled, I think it's a high tackle. There's a little bit of an elbow rub. Pretty ordinary stuff, but don't carry on. Just get back in the line or the yellow card will be produced.
It was eventually left for Fittler to come and pull Roberts away. McDermott! 7 out from the line. Wigan, are they coming back? Edwards, and there's a pass inside for Farrell. Daly frantically calling for numbers on the left. Edwards! Connolly now. Driving defence there by Fairley. Another penalty goes to Wigan. Connolly! Connolly! Well, he'll be given a try. He's been given the try.
Well, he caught the Australian defence unawares there. The penalty was no sooner given than Connolly. Good work by him. He just walked up, took the tap and dived over. It was a good hit by Mullins, but not good enough because he eventually forced his way over Connolly. But good, quick thinking by him. So Wigan get their third try. Here's the penalty given. And Connolly just gets up and goes whooshka, even before the Australians had realised what was happening. And there it was there, only a couple of metres out, but he forced his way over. Well done.
He's one of the best players in England, Gary Connolly. See the hand there. That should have been a penalty too. Ian Roberts, the player responsible. The quick tap taken. No Australians coming up to meet him, although Mullins got a good shot. The shot pushed him sideways and over the line. And Connolly leaving the field now. He had some blood coming from the nose. This may just be a sin bin. I mean, a blood bin. Some sort of bin.
Farrell now, the second row with the attempted conversion, and it's unsuccessful. So 30 points to 14. The Kangaroos over Wigan at Central Park.
You see the new car?
That's our new car?
Yeah. Great value. Economical. More room than the last one.
You're kidding.
No. What do you think?
Cool.
The new Subaru Liberty, Australia's best-selling imported medium car, is now even better.
Cool.
The new Liberty from just $26,990.
Second tackle for Wigan as they work it away from inside their own 20-metre line. The sun beaming down on Central Park. Oh! Roberts has pulled off a smashing tackle. This is Clark now.
I think the temper's up with Ian Roberts. Still didn't like the decision from down the other end minutes ago. And that was a cruncher on Mick Cassidy. Hopefully not a serious injury problem for Gary Connolly. He's been replaced and gone to the tunnel. Frano Bodica is back out there as Mullins picks the ball up on his own line.
Mullins brings it back beyond the 20-metre line. That tackle of Roberts, Paul, reminded me of a match you were involved in when Wally Lewis, he smashed somebody at Mount Smart.
Darryl Williams it was.
Darryl Williams.
Great tackle. You wouldn't want to get on his bad side, would you, Ian Roberts?
I thought you were talking about the one where Fatty got smashed, but there were a few of them.
That was every tackle.
You're talking about Brendan Tutu at Rotorua. Hancock plays it now, 30 out from his line. Stewart is with it inside for Fairley. Fairley, he really had a good game against Leeds when he came on. He was very confident. Walters offloading for Fairley. Well, Saylor's out there, but he's got 5 defenders on him, which means that on the left there must be space out here for Australia. An ordinary pass, great hands by Daly. Daly weaving his own magic now. 33 metres out from the Wigan line. Still Wigan are understaffed on the left. Stewart kicks in behind. Hancock goes after it. Atchison is with it. And Atchison is tackled by Renoff. Stewart appealed to the referee for a little knock-on. Robinson away from dummy half. 10 metres out from their own line now. Wigan have breathed a new life back into the game. 26-6 at half-time. They've clawed back with 2 tries to 30 points to 14. McDermott.
He's just been added to the Great Britain squad, McDermott. Hasn't done his chances too much harm out there this afternoon.
Oh, Clark's unloaded the ball in the tackle, and Fittler is eventually tackled by Clark. 30 metres out, centre of the park. Fairley using Roberts, and Roberts is pulled down effectively there by Paul, the centre. Played back for Walters, and now Stewart scheming, looking to get a pass inside, but Clark buries him into the turf of Central Park. Walters on. Pay is tackled 12 metres out. Walters working into dummy half, and he's been near enough probably to the man of the match, along with Dean Pay's performance. They've been quite outstanding.
I've got to throw Fittler in there, Ray. It's on the last tackle. It goes back to Ricky Stewart.
He puts the kick back and across, the reverse kick taken by Robinson for Wigan. Plenty of Australian numbers there, and one of them is injured. It's Renouf. Edwards tackled out from dummy half by Clyde. This is Farrell. This Wigan club, of course, has dominated through the middle and the late 80s, through the 90s. Almost become the Invincibles since Graham Lowe and John Money. And the club asked me to say hello to John and his wife, Julie. I know they'll be watching. And here's Boddicker getting involved in several knock-ons by the Wigan club.
Well, Martin Offia finally got involved and dropped the ball. It's had a big game.
He wasn't expecting the inside pass here, but he should have been. It's been very disappointing. I know it sounds as though we're picking on him, but you have high expectations of a player like Offia. One of the highest profiles in rugby league internationally. And he's been disappointing in what should have been one of his biggest games in his life.
Here's Saylor now trying to stampede his way over the Wigan defence of Boddicker and Clark. Now it's from Fittler to Daly. Now Meninga coming up as Mullins. Renouf is with it. Renouf just inside the 20-metre line. Mullins finds himself a dummy half. Fittler at first receiver. And Fittler about 15 metres out from the Wigan line now. Walters, Stewart, cuts out Fairley. Oh, Daly down around his bootlaces, puts it down. This is Atchison. 30 points to 14. 23 minutes gone. Clark, Farrell, Paul. Farrell once more.
Well, I know that there's 5 of these Wigan players in the Great Britain squad in the forward pack. If that's the best they've got, then they've got no chance of doing anything in the test matches. I thought the Clarks played fine. Dennis Betts looks a bit sluggish to me. He might be carrying a bit of weight or something, but he's not the player that I've seen in the past. And the props, well, Kelvin Skerritt and Neil Carey, they're pop guns compared to our boys. So Ellery Hanley, I think he'll have to go searching for a couple more forwards.
He really does look as though he's put some weight on, Dennis Betts.
Hello, here's Martin with the ball. Robinson's got it. No, he hasn't. Walters has. Well, Martin made a long run from one wing to the other and offloaded no sooner than he had it. Hancock playing it now. Clark is injured, clutching at a wrist. Paul has just finished saying that he's been their best. And I watch Phil Clark coming back. He's got no feeling, it seems, in the left forearm. Clyde runs straight at him, pushes him off, pushes off Farrell, goes to the 20-metre line to be pulled down by Atchison. Cross now for Stewart. Away for Daly. Now for Fairley. Out for Saylor. He beats off here on the outside. Dwigamala comes at him. Passes, but he's into touch.
Well, Wendell Saylor there. Just made a goose of Offia on the wing, stood him up, ran round him. Unfortunately, ran into touch in the end through Twiggamalo coming over.
Very smart play from Brad Clyde, knowing that Phil Clark was hurt. As we see, the great footwork from Wendell Sailor has really developed into one of the crowd favourites over here. Clyde ran to Clark, knew that he was busted. A big break down the left-hand side nearly led to a try as Edwards now finds Atchison. Can't beat Daly. Gets some help from Renoff.
See that Clark packed into the second row on that occasion. Farrell went back to lock, and they've got attention out there for him now. Paul gets a pass in. Bodiger makes a good run. Now he uses Offia. Offia goes to the centre. He finds Edwards, but Edwards is on his Pat Malone. The ball goes loose and knocked on by Stewart.
He probably should have dived on the ball, Ricky Stewart. Good break made. They were trying to get Offia into open spaces. And Edwards, when he went back there, nobody. Hancock, great tackle over the top. Betts coming in with his feet, probably put Stewart off diving on the football. As Terry O'Connor gets ready for Wigan, I would imagine that Clark won't be out there too much longer.
Twiggamalo using his centre partner, Paul. 40 metres out from their own line, trailing by 16 points with 14 minutes of the match remaining, and the ball taken away from Wigan by Ian Roberts, and they take the quick kick for line. The tap to be taken by Robinson. Australia not back the 10 yet. Robinson might draw another penalty. Well, he didn't, but he should have. 20 metres away from the line. McDermott. Australia's fitness now being tested. And that'll be good from Bobby Fulton's point of view. Edwards! Roberts tackling his heart out now. 9 metres away from the line. Hall on for Bodiger. Cuts out Betts. Picks up Paul. Across now for Atchison. Atchison pulled down. 10 metres from the line still. Now, a short pass up for Twiggamalo. Betts was the runner. There's a penalty on here.
Yeah, ball was stolen once again out of Twiggamalo's hands, so another quick tap to be taken here by Wigan.
Paul it is that takes it. The sting might have gone out of the attack, though. Edwards taken by Stewart. Can Wigan crack the Aussies again? Paul gets the pass away. That's Hall. He's put down. Sloppy played the ball. There was hands in the play the ball. And the penalty goes again to Wigan. Henry Paul goes in for a quick tap. It's with Sean Edwards. Now Martin Offia. Offia gets a pass away for Robinson. Robinson goes around. Looks for his second try. And Robinson has put away. 5 metres out from the line. What a crowd pleaser is this kid. Hall. McDermott. McDermott flicks it out the back. Edwards is with it. Cassidy. Cassidy is held and put away. Bodiger. Inside pass for Clark. Still 5 metres from the line. Right for in the play the ball, a penalty. He's pulled out the yellow card. It'll be the sin bin. It's Roberts. Roberts to the sin bin.
Well, Clark's recovered. He's looking for the quick tap. Hands the ball to Martin Hall. You'd think they'd have to score with the amount of possession. Waiting for Ian Roberts to leave the field.
So Farrell it is now, who throws that big frame of his at the line. They're right on the Australian line. Hall, Edwards, McDermott. Out the back it comes for Cassidy. On the ground and away from Atchison. Then for Edwards, now for Twiggamalo. 11 out from the line. Played back for Hall, then for Edwards. Cuts out Clark, finds Paul. Renoff makes the tackle. 15 from the line now.
Good work from Stewart to play the ball down. Steve Walters has done it a couple of times. Edwards, the cutout pass. There's the intercept from Sailor.
Sailor on his own 20-metre line. Meninga is with it now. He's outside the 30, and halfway mark.
Well, I think if anything in this game was going to please Bob Fulton, it'll be the last 5 minutes, because Australia's defence was under a lot of pressure and it'll handle it very, very easily. I think that's the thing that'll please him most out of this game.
Sailor now.
And one player short.
Dummy half Mal Meninga is with Stewart and now with David Fairley. Wigan will be very disappointed they weren't able to get over the line on umpteen opportunities given to them really by the Australians.
Connolly has come to the sideline for Wigan, looking to come back in. Clark appears to have made a strong recovery. He was at marker. Daly now has got Fittler on his outside. The big left foot step can't beat Paul.
Pass back for Bradley Clyde and across for Dean Pay in the centre. To the right for Fairley. To the left for Meninga. Meninga put away 25 metres out from the line. 5 tackles gone. What will Stewart do this time? Stewart puts it through the hands. Daly likewise. Renouf, Hancock. Oh, great defence by Wigan. But there's a forward pass being called. I think it was the Daly pass to Renouf.
Yeah, that's the one that was called forward. It was a lovely ball. This is a good angle. It looked fine to me. In good defence in the end to put Hancock over the touchline.
If anything, the last pass might have been a touch forward from Steve Renouf.
Paul now going out for Twiggamala. Offia on Sailor. Sailor pulls him down. Big test for the young man from Broncos. He hasn't had a great deal to do in that department today, but that was his first test. And he showed Offia the sideline.
Yeah, there was never any doubt that he'd handle it either, Ray. One of the most exciting talents is Offia. He's away this time.
Offia goes towards Hancock's wing. Mullins is with him. The pass inside. Connolly has got it now. Stewart is there with Hancock to pull him down. Played back to Edwards. Edwards goes himself. 10 metres from the line. The Kangaroos with 12 men. Leading by 16 points. Farrell is put away by Fairley. Robinson runs at the forwards. And that was a nothing kick from the youngster.
Yeah, but he's still trying something. That's what I like about him. He's always looking to do something different. On that occasion, the crowd was calling he was taken late, but Walters was committed to the tackle. So Australia once again hang on.
Some of the little stuff that Steve Walters has done out there in the last 10 minutes has been outstanding. Just little things in slowing the play of the ball down, getting to where they're short. Obviously with a player off, sometimes the gaps appear in places they normally wouldn't, and it's been Steve Walters who's filled in on so many occasions. He's just a great hooker forward.
Sloppy played the ball. Referee says no knock on. Sailor takes it back to the halfway line. Paul makes the tackle with Cassidy. Now with Stewart. Inside ball for Fairley. Across to the blind side for Daly. Away from one, beats a second. Pulled down in a third. 5 tackles gone. As it comes on for Stewart. Fittler is on his outside. He cuts him and Renouf out. Looks for Hancock. The ball goes loose. Robinson is with it, but that's the turnover. So, that forward pass coming on the last. Campbell, the referee, acknowledging that there was a replacement awaiting a chance to come on, and that is O'Connor in 17. He's taken the place of McDermott. And here's Robinson again now. About 7 metres on his own side of the halfway. 6 minutes of the match remaining, plus extra time. And that could be anything.
We played up to 6 or 7 minutes in the first half as Edwards throws the dummy. Just hasn't got the speed to beat Fairley. Incredible. The first half went for about 46 minutes.
Here's Phil Clark. 30 metres out from the line. Walters was the tackler. Betts goes to the blind side. Connolly was on his inside unmarked. Played back to Connolly now. On for Farrell. Farrell shapes to kick. He does that. Stewart will cover. No, it came off the hand of Farrell, then right through the legs, but the referee has called a halt, and he's ordered the turnover to Australia.
Well, he's kidding Sean Edwards. There was no doubt that the kick put up by Farrell was knocked on by the same player. A little chip over the top. He tries to knock it back, but that's gone a mile forward.
Hancock now. Offloads back for Daly. Australia still with 12 men. Roberts in the sin bin. Clyde. Taken by Twigamala. Hall over the top. Walters to dummy half. 35 minutes of elapsed time. Dean Pay. 30 points to 14 Australia. They led 26-6 at half-time. Just the one try for them in the second half by Mullins as a mistake.
Yeah, forward pass there, the reverse pass forward to Dean Pay, who knocked on anyway. So a scrum set centre field. This is the little kick over the top. Let's just have a look. Well, that didn't go as far forward as I thought.
I thought it went back. Didn't go as far forward.
Scrum won by Wigan. Paul came from the left, worked on the right. Clark is there. Connolly is with it. Robinson is now with it. And he's taken out by Brad Clyde.
Steve Menzies on for Australia now.
Clark gets it away. Cassidy in 16 takes it to the 20-metre line. Fairley and Clyde make the tackle. Clyde, we all knew that he wouldn't let you down in a tight squeeze. He's doing the work of himself and Ian Roberts at the moment. It's out for Farrell. Farrell taken to ground by Stewart and Daly. Wigan with numbers on the left of the park now. And Edwards works that area with Atchison. Atchison tackled 10 out from the line by Meninga. They come away from Hall to Edwards. Edwards on for Betts selectively. Betts gets away from the tackle of Fairley. The ball goes forward. Oppia. No, I think he's ruled.
It's a try.
He's given a try, has he? I thought he pointed to the Australian for forcing it.
I think he's pointed to the Australian because he was touched by the Australian, which meant play on. He was in good position, the referee. Some sort of doubt about the try, but Martin Offia has still got his name on the score sheet, but he's done very little this afternoon. At least he's come looking for the football in the second half. David Fairley missed the first up tackle on Dennis Betts. Got through. They've had to do a lot of defence. Mullins going low. It's come off the hand of the Australian in the tackle, and that's fair enough. Play on.
And I suppose I know they'll win this match, Australia, with there's only a matter of minutes to go. But they have been outscored in this second half to the tune of 12 points to 4. So maybe there is something there that they can work on. Those who mightn't be happy with the second half. Wigan have made a few breaks. Andrew Farrell should convert this one.
And he does just that. The try by Oppia, controversial as it may have been, converted. So 30 points to 20 the score. Here's a break.
New curtains needed here. Right now, Mansour's will custom make you beautiful curtains for an incredible $1 per centimetre. Choose from over 250 colours and designs. Don't miss this. Custom curtains only $1 per centimetre track width at Mansour's, where quality costs a lot less.
Not since Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange has a film provoked so much controversy, earned so much praise, and caused so much debate. From Oliver Stone, director of JFK and Platoon, comes the award-winning Natural Born Killers.
So the penalty to Wigan off the restart kick by Mal Meninga. It sees the Riversiders go on the attack again. This is O'Connor. Menzies has come back into this match, or should I say he's come into the match in place of Roberts. The kick by Connolly. Saylor's got some work to do, and he does it well.
A great clean up there from Wendell Saylor. Of course, Australia's still with 12 men out there. Bradley Fittler has left the field. Roberts now comes back into the fray as Mullins tackled 11 out from his own line. Quick play the ball. Meninga out of dummy half.
So Meninga just inside his own 20-metre line. Fairley is now, who's put down. So the information from the sideline that we had was wrong. Menzies there by his own accord, not in place of Roberts. But Fittler has now left the field. 30 metres out from the Australian line, and Stewart heads for safer pastures. Down on the 30-metre line, Jason Robinson. Taken by Laurie Daly, got the pass off for Hall, and then dropped by Phil Clark. And there is the siren in the background. The Central Park encounter, the fourth test, as some people refer to it, is over. Australia winning by 30 points to 20. Tries Clyde, Daly, Pay, Meninga, Renouf, Hancock, Mullins. And for Wigan, Robinson, Twigamala, Connolly and Offia. The crowd was 20,000 to see what was a sometimes spiteful contest. It also showed that the Australians are a class act. But Wigan, to their credit, they came back. And they came back to make a match of it, going down eventually by 10 points. So 30 points to 20. We'll take a break. Peter and Paul will be with you to wrap it up in just a moment from Central Park in Wigan.
Monday on A Current Affair, they came here to live and hated
We
it.
expected to have greater status then than we actually did.
Knocked out blokes.
I feel like asking when the baby's due.
Our work ethic, even our dress sense.
They don't take the pride in clothes there as they do here.
Meet the pommy immigrants who couldn't get home fast enough. Plus, sweet dreams for insomniacs. New medical research to get a good night's sleep without drugs.
It's been terrific.
And the maiden voyage to the Endeavour.
You damn well know you're alive, don't you?
At sea in the Great Australian Bight. This week, A Current Affair.
When I finish shopping, the first thing I do, even before I unpack, I have a Magnum. I can't help myself.
Yeah, I always have a pack or two tucked away in the fridge.
I put everything on hold.
There's nothing I like more. Curling up with a Magnum. It's just the best.
Relaxing at home just wouldn't be the same without Magnum.
My special moment.
It's the most fun you can have at home.
These drug cartels represent a clear and present danger to the national security of the United States.
It is my duty to report this matter to the Senate Oversight Committee.
I will not let you dishonor their memories by pretending you had nothing to do with it. How dare you come into this office and bark at me? I am the President of the United States. How dare you, sir?
Harrison Ford. Clear and present danger.
We're going already?
In a minute.
Not in that wagon out the front.
He's here.
Safer, quieter, more comfortable. The new Subaru Liberty wagon with the traction control of constant four-wheel drive.
Honey, wait.
Yeah?
It's cool.
Subaru Liberty, Australia's best-selling imported station wagon, is now even better.
Beaver Creek, Sydney's biggest golfing supermarket's $1 million sellout continues. Top quality full graphite golf set was $14.99, now $8.99. Stower Cart buggy was $199, now $139. Famous brand ladies and gents golf gear drastically reduced. Shirts from $19, shorts from $15, pants just $20. For 6 months interest-free finance on all golfing gear and clothing, the Beaver Creek $1 million stock sellout. On now, just 2 minutes from the airport, 1371 Botany Road, Botany.
The honourable member that Australia, without rubber stamps, is not Australia.
The new Sony Trinitron High Black Superior technology improves colours by 30%. Redder reds, greener greens, bluer blues. But to really appreciate our new technology, be a bit discerning about what you watch. Ah, that's better. The High Black Trinitron from Sony, the one and only.
Need a new quilt cover set? You bet! Right now, Mansell's are practically giving away beautiful quilt cover and pillowcase sets starting from a low $49.95. But hurry, this won't last. Quilt cover sets from a crazy $49.95. Out they go now at Mansell's, where quality costs a lot less.
There's nothing I like more. Curling up with a Magnum. It's bliss.
Relaxing at home just wouldn't be the same without Magnum.
I always keep one in the fridge.
My special moment.
It's the most fun you can have at home.
The Kangaroos keep their unbeaten record intact in the 1994 tour, defeating Wigan here at Central Park, 30 points to 20. In fact, a pretty good game of football in the end. 6 tries to 4 it finished. And the tries for Australia, Clyde, Pay, Daly, Renouf, Hancock and Mullins got tries. Meninga kicked 2 goals, Daly getting 1. While for Wigan, Robinson, Tuigamala, Connolly and Offia got tries. Bodica and Farrell kicked a goal each. And Paul, some confidence, I suppose, for the Great Britain squad in the second half, 14 points to 4 in favour of the English side.
I know that Ellery Hanley was here today, the Great Britain coach. He can probably take some solace from that second half effort by Wigan. A lot of those players involved in the test matches coming up. Consider that Martin Offia hasn't had a dig. Dennis Betts can play a lot better. So maybe some hope there for the Great Britain squad.
You did mention in that second half that the fact that you thought that Bob Fulton out of that game would probably be most impressed with the defence down on the line there, especially after Ian Roberts' sin bin.
Defence on the line was great, except that Connolly scored one in the second half and Robinson scored one early in the first half, so he'll have to have a look at that. But I thought around the halfway mark, Wigan made plenty of breaks in the second half, so I think they've got to smarten up a bit.
OK, looking at the Wigan side just quickly, the best player, Jason Robinson, did you think?
I thought he was great. I thought Phil Clark was very, very good. I thought the 2 centres played well too, Tuigamala and Henry Paul. Unfortunately, they're both Kiwi, so they can't get picked in the Great Britain team, but I thought they showed some spirit.
Well, a very good performance, and as we mentioned through the telecast, some great work out there from the Canberra connection. Steve Walters was outstanding. Stewart's first showing on this tour, and Laurie Daly at 5'8" was very, very good. He's now with Chris Bombolas.
Well, thanks, Peter. Laurie Daly. Laurie, everyone billed this one as a 4th Test match. What did you think this afternoon?
Yeah, it certainly was a particularly hard game. We ran up some few points there in the first half, and then we went out in the second half, and our ball control wasn't as good as what it was in the first half, and we can put some points on us.
A few late penalties in the game obviously kept them in the match.
Yeah, that's right. But I suppose you've got to expect that over here, and I suppose it was a game of 2 halves. We played particularly well in the first half, and Wigan played well in the second half, so you've got to give them some credit as well.
Any particular reason for the drop-off after half-time?
Oh, I think it was just, more so we didn't get too much ball, and when we did have our ball, we made mistakes. So you're always going to find it pretty hard if you don't get an even share of possession.
A long spell for you since the grand final. Good to get out there, brush the cobwebs out and get that Canberra connection happening again?
Yeah, well, I actually played on Wednesday, and, it was a pretty quick game, and this was a pretty quick game out there today as well. But glad to get a week off now and start preparing for the Halifax game.
What about the test? Is it a good sign now that you've beaten one of their top sides here, or if not the top side?
Well, Wigan are the World Club Champions, so we knew that they were going to be probably the hardest game we'll get on tour. And as you say, it's been billed as a 4th Test match, and I think a lot of people that went to the stadium today will go away thinking that Great Britain have got some sort of chance. But having said that, I think that we didn't play as well as what we could. And, we've still got a lot to work on.
You want a quick cheerio before we go? You told me you wanted one.
Yeah, I want to say good day to Mum and Dad and my girlfriend Wendy and Andrew.
All right, thanks very much, Laurie Daly. We'll move across and we'll go to Steve Walters. It was his first run since the grand final. Steve, what about for you? How have you pulled up after the match?
Oh, a little bit bucket bomber. It was pretty fast out there. A lot of running from one side to the other, so good to come up with a win, mate.
How tough was the game? It looked pretty tough from in the stands.
Yeah, I didn't find that any different to one of the hard games in Australia. They're certainly right up to the mark. Wigan, they've proven that time and time again, and they've got some big blokes out there that know how to use the football.
6 tries to 4 in favour of Australia. Is it a good sign for the test coming up?
Well, obviously we want to improve on that, but, we've played the top club side over here and come away with a win, and I suppose you should be reasonably happy with that, but we dropped a lot of balls, as I mentioned, at half-time, and we can improve, but so will the Wigan or Great Britain in the next game.
All right, best of luck on the rest of the tour, and thanks for joining us.
Just a quick cheerio to my dad. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Dad, from myself and Kevin.
There we are, back to Peter Sterling.
Yeah, hi to Sharon and Kim Vorton as well. We may as well get in on the act. the right attitude from the Australians. I think we mentioned the penalties, 8-0 to Wigan in the second half. They've got to keep their composure. We saw Ian Roberts go off a little bit out there. They can't afford to do that over here because they are going to get some dud decisions.
That's right. The referees obviously, look, they're not cheats, but they don't mind giving their home sides a bit of a hand here and there.
That's what it's saying.
Hey? But no, they have got to keep their composure. I think the fact that Australia didn't get a penalty in the second half, I mean, that means that one side played 40 minutes of perfect football, and that just doesn't happen in rugby league these days.
What about, just quickly going through the Australians, I thought Fittler was outstanding. Steve Walters, having not played since the grand final, was everywhere.
They were great. All the forward pack. Roberts, he was great. He played angrily today. You know, he played with a bit of oomph, and he led the way for Australians in the defensive department especially. So I thought he was fantastic. Dean Pay, Bradley Clyde, they're just a class above the Wiganers, and I thought they didn't have an ordinary player.
30 points to 20, Australia have won here at Central Park. We'll take a break now and be back to wrap up the third game on tour for the 1994 Kangaroos.
In a world television premiere.
We have a warrant to search these premises.
Made for the Nine Network.
You're with the Feds.
Yes.
The Feds' Obsession.
It was meant for me.
In a stunning Australian thriller at Madman's Target.
Very talented.
Fun and games.
Lisa, put the bag down.
Is the Feds themselves.
He's after Joe, but it's me he wants.
John Bache, Robert Taylor, Angie Millican. Your Wednesday mystery movie premiere at 8:30. The Feds' Obsession on 9.
Strongbow. Sweet, dry or draft. All you have to do is ask.
New curtains needed here. Right now, Mansour's will custom make you beautiful curtains for an incredible $1 per centimetre. Choose from over 250 colours and designs. Don't miss this. Custom curtains only $1 per centimetre track width at Mansour's, where quality costs a lot less.
She remains Australia's biggest selling female artist. Ladies and gentlemen, Marsha Hines. Now, Marsha Hines' new album, Right Here and Now, featuring Rain and the new single. Australia's all-time favourite, Marsha Hines, her new album, Right Here and Now.
Jesus Christ Superstar. The bulletin says, certainly the most spectacular version in living memory. Superstar is stunning, says the Catholic Weekly. An awesome display of talent and technology, says the Tally Mirror. Don't miss Jesus Christ Superstar in its last weeks at the State Theatre. Book now, proudly sponsored by Westbank.
The honourable member that Australia, without proper stamps, is not Australia.
The new Sony Trinitron High Black Superior technology improves colours by 30%. Redder reds, greener greens, bluer blues. But to really appreciate our new technology, be a bit discerning about what you watch. Ah, that's better. The High Black Trinitron from Sony, the one and only.
Who's got everything? Thrifty discounts. The bathroom renovators. Thrifty discounts. The kitchen updaters. Thrifty discounts. The plumbing operators. Thrifty discounts. If you're not shopping thrifty, you're not saving money. At Kempsey and Granville, the big green place. Who's got everything? Thrifty discounts. The bathroom renovators. Kitchen updaters. Plumbing operators. Who's got everything?
Beamy Street, Kempsey, and Parramatta Road, Granville.
Thrifty discounts.
How much calcium do children need for healthy bones?
How many bubbles did she drink last night?
A glass of milk?
Not because he clean, just because he kissed the boys behind the magazine.
Plus a tub of yogurt?
How many gallons did she drink?
And a piece of cheese. And they've got all the calcium they need each day.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
10-point winners here at Central Park. The Kangaroos over Wigan, 30 points to 20 at the final scoreline. And Fatty, a game that at times got fairly spiteful. Paul Sirenen especially, a little bit of special attention.
He was on the end of a couple of classics there by Kelvin Skerritt and then McDermott later in the first half. And I believe that really the International Rugby League ruling, they should look at this and cite those 2 players, because if you remember, Alan Cam was cited after the Wigan Broncos game back in June. He was eventually let off, but these 2 players, they deserve to be cited and at least front the board.
I'm
That's
sure
for sure.
The Australian coach Bob Fulton would have been incensed with both of those incidents. He's now in the dressing shed with Chris Bombolas.
Well, Peter, I can confirm that Bob isn't happy about the incidents. And Bob, you'd like to have a look at the video?
Yeah, we certainly are. I mean, it's just not acceptable. It's not acceptable in the Winfield Cup, and it's certainly not acceptable at international level. It might be acceptable over here, but it certainly is not for this particular team.
Cheap shots, disappointing in the overall scheme of things in this match?
Well, besides the refereeing display, I think when you start to look at a disciplined side like ours, and we have been disciplined in the first 2 games, and we're fairly disciplined in the first half, and then we come out and have 8 penalties to nil against us. I mean, they were trying to do a job on us, and they nearly succeeded.
I came down here at half-time. He looked very groggy, Paul Sirenen. What's the latest? How's he pulled up?
Well, he's okay. He's up and about and he's showering, so, for his family back home, he's okay.
It could have been worse, couldn't it? Because they were shots around the head.
Well, I mean, you've only got to have a look at a guy like Ciro that really doesn't want to come off, and he had to come off. I mean, Nathan Gibbs, carted him off at half-time, and he had to stay off.
6 tries to 4, 30 points to 20 against the tougher side here in England. Is it a good sign for the test coming up?
I think it was an excellent sign, particularly given the fact that we were 26-6 ahead at half-time, and we only had 13 lots of possession, which is a dead-set record low, against their 26, so they had twice as much possession and ended up scoring 14 points to our 4 in the second half. I mean, the 8-0 penalty count told it all. I mean, there was nearly a job done on us.
2 lead-up matches to go before the first test. Is your job of selecting that lineup a little easier now?
No, it's not. It's very hard because we've got plenty of informed players.
What about what's the plan from here on in? Obviously, Castleford regroup for that match?
Oh, we've already selected a side for that, and then we'll select a side for the following weekend's game against Halifax.
You're confident going into the test?
After today's display, reasonably so.
All right, that's Australian coach Bob Fulton. Back to you, Peter.
Yeah, smile at the end there from Bozo, but not particularly happy. I thought the Australians kept their composure remarkably well. We now move on to the Castleford game, Paul, and we see Paul Sirenen up and about, so that is great news. He really looked groggy leaving the field after that second hit.
He's looking good too.
Well, I don't know about that, but he might be at the casino later on. And
yeah, Australia playing Castleford on Wednesday night. Interesting to note that both Paul Harrigan and Glenn Lazarus will play. Harrigan, his first game of the tour, he served his 3-match suspension, so he'll be back, and I can tell you he is super keen for a game of football. And Lazarus, of course, under a cloud with a groin injury, but he's named in the team yet to see if he will play. And you'll see that at home there, 8:30 p.m. Thursday night.
Yes, please check your local guides for that one, but in Sydney, 8:30 p.m, the 4th game on tour for the Kangaroos. We've just witnessed the 3rd one up against Wigan, 30 points to 20. The Australians were winners. On behalf of Ray Warren, Paul Vorton and the entire Wide World of Sports crew from Central Park in the north of England, we say good morning.
See ya.
Bye.
Lewis steps, weaves, busts the tackle, gets a pass away to Miles, and Miles is in beside the post.
Craig Young, ready, Meninga, Grove, back on the inside to Sterling, it's a try. Put the glasses down, he's in.
Here's Bradley Clyde all the way. And now Dean Pay. Oh, the Canterbury forward goes in to score. Oh, what a pass. Daly, he scores. Renner, a dazzling turn of speed, and he's away. The Broncos centre gets the try. Mullen stoops down and recovers. He beats Paul. Then he goes between 2 and another 2. And Mullins is away. Clark is chasing. They won't catch him. Mullins gets the try.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Coverage of the Kangaroo Tour, proudly brought to you by Qantas, the Australian airline.
The year's most electrifying new cinema release is Clear and Present Danger.
England is still demonic, and that is where we must strike.
From the same #1 selling author.
You just waded on in like John Wayne.
Comes the original white-knuckle thriller.
Rage. Pure rage.
For the first time on television.
Let's do it. Get off the highway right now.
Toyota brings to you
Post him back to Whitehall in little pieces.
Harrison Ford.
I want back in.
Patriot Games. Tonight, 8:30 on Channel 9. It's Tuesday for Fun Entertainment. Australia's favourite funniest home videos. And the all-new comic sensation Just Kidding from 7:30.
I'll give you a hand.
Then the serious fun starts.
I have done something terrible.
I know.
I was at the wedding.
The perfect couple.
With all this knowledge of animals, maybe I'll be a veteran.
It's vegetarian.
Married with children still going strong.
Who put the battery in the Energizer chicken?
Then Law of the Land, Tuesday on 9.
Still the one, Sydney's Channel 9. The Dunhill Nations Cup telecast, proudly sponsored by Optus, Holden, Ansett, and Chivas Regal.
Well, Mother Nature has been very kind to the players at the old course at St Andrews as we get set for round 3 of the Alfred Dunhill Cup. And those conditions are in stark contrast to what prevailed on the first day when the wind was absolutely howling all day, making conditions intolerable for players and for spectators alike. Well, good morning, everybody. It's Ian Maurice with you for round 3 of the Alfred Dunhill Cup, a day that is absolutely vital for Australia as they take on England to try and get through to the semi-finals. More on that in just a moment. But we have had a number of calls, mainly from young people, I've got to say, who really want to know exactly where St Andrews is. Some people think it's in England. It's not. It is certainly in Scotland. I've got this map out for you to have a look. There it is up there on the east coast, and the wind comes in off the North Sea and howls along that course. It can be very windy and cold, but it's such a magnificent sight. Anyone who's had the good fortune to stand on the first tee at the old course at St Andrews knows what a thrill it can be. I mentioned it is a vital day for Australia as they take on England. There are a lot of other extremely important matches as well as we take a look at the point situation. And you'll see in Group 1, well, it can't be any closer than that, can it? New Zealand, Ireland, USA and Japan have all won one match each, and they've all had 3 games won by each team. So that's absolutely vital. Anyone can get through from Group 1. It is in Group 2 where Australia and England are at the top of the table. England has won 2 matches and they have yet to lose a game. They've won all 6. Australia's lost 2, but they have won 2 matches. So it's England and Australia together with 2 matches apiece. Spain and France has yet to break their duck. In Group 3, Scotland and South Africa in a similar position to England and Australia. They've both won 2 matches. Scotland has won 5 games, South Africa's won 4, but Paraguay and the Republic of China have yet to break their duck in Group 3. In Group 4, again, absolutely close. Anyone can go through and look at that. Zimbabwe, Sweden, Canada and Germany have all won 1 match each, and they've all won 3 games individually. So anyone can go through from Group 4. Now, I mentioned Australia and England. That is the vital game. They will be the last group to tee off, so we might have to wait just a little while before we see the Australian and England players. Let's take a look at the draw for today. Republic of China takes on Paraguay. South Africa is in there against Scotland. USA, been very disappointing yesterday, particularly Tom Kite. They're playing New Zealand today. Japan is up against Ireland. Germany takes on Canada. That should be a good one. Zimbabwe will play Sweden. France is up against Spain. And here's the one we're looking for, Australia against England. Robert Allenby has yet to win a match, and he takes on Barry Lane today. Steve Elkington up against Howard Clark, and Greg Norman up against Mark Rowe. As I mentioned, that is the last group, so we'll have to wait just a little while before we see the Aussies in action. Okay, looks like they're just about ready for us at the old course at St Andrews. Our coverage comes to you from B Sky B. Let's join our commentators, Bruce Pritchley and Ewan Murray.
Only knows Tom Kite's just 4 feet away, although his putt's a tricky one from right to left.
This for the birdie 3. It's desperately needed.
Man, I thought that was coming down. Right on the right edge.
Two have slid away
Start turning left and right.
to the right in the last 3 holes. Correction that Greg Turner dropped a shot at the last, so he's suddenly gone 2 behind Couples. Strange 2 ahead of Nobilo, and this match at the moment all square. So a strong finish by America could see them gain all 3 points, and a putt to put all 3 in the lead. Straight in the middle. And so they're, for the first time today, ahead in all 3 matches. United States defending champions and the #1 seeds. New Zealand the #8 seeds. So 2 shots and 1 shot there in the top match.
Scotland against South Africa, and Andrew Coltart made his 4 at the 17th. So he looks like putting the first point on the board for Scotland, but it's bad news in the 2nd and 3rd match. And it's pretty tight. United States and New Zealand. Kite 1 clear of Waite, Strange 2 clear of Nobilo, and Couples with that brilliant 3 at the 13th takes the 2-shot advantage into the last 5 holes over Greg Turner. Score of the day has come from Yoshinori Mizumaki. He's 6 under after 11, so that group has a long way to go before it's decided. That's the story so far. We'll be back in a couple of moments. Stay where you are.
At Holden, we believe that true prestige is built into the car. The new Holden Statesman is the most luxurious and distinctive ever. It's the safest large Australian luxury car with driver's airbag standard. The all-new Holden Statesman, big V6 or optional V8. The prestige is built into the car, not added onto the price. There's nothing quite like a Holden.
Oh, Harold, you're just in time.
Hello, George.
I was going to have a drink. Will you now join me?
Yeah, thank you.
Here for a dram of Shivers Regal.
George, what's the occasion?
I'm about to do a spot of gardening.
Hardly a big enough occasion for a Shivers Regal, is it?
My boy, life is the big occasion.
Hey, Charlie. Are we a bit to the left, if you don't mind?
60 Minutes.
Save us from the fires of hell.
Men of God preaching murder.
Would you kill him?
I would have to do what God says, yes.
Hysteria.
It's a war.
As the abortion debates gets out of control.
I sleep with my gun in the bed with me.
Also the secrets of Thomas the Tank Engine, his cranky old creator.
I'm sick of it.
The Dottie Pat controller.
I'd be like this since I'm a kid.
And the people who've made millions.
It's been more successful than I could have ever dreamed.
Toyota presents 60 Minutes, 7:30 tonight.
Good to have you with us. We've just started our coverage of round 3 of the Alfred Dunhill Cup from the old course at St Andrews. This is Frank Nobilo playing for New Zealand. His opponent is Curtis Strange, and our commentators Bruce Critchley and Ewan Murray.
Oh. Good looking pattern. At 8 feet short.
Could you read out the Scottish score, please?
One or two problems for Ernie Els at the 17th, and there's a part of the front of the bunker there that's just been tuffed. And they tried to tuff it with some stuff from Yorkshire, and it didn't take, so they had to get some of the local stuff, and that took up to just 6 or 7 days. So,
what's wrong with our turf?
Now you can see what's happening here. He goes to the nearest point of relief and then drops, but the ball's gone nearer the hole, so he places the ball where it hit the ground on the 3rd drop. But to be perfectly honest, it's a pretty rough place to be. Don't think he'll come up over the edge of the bunker. May use the bank at the right, the left as we look, and the best maybe he can do from there, a bogey 5.
Back to 14. Curtis Strange for a 3 for a 4. Oh, Americans seemingly getting tougher and tougher. Good putt, just the pace beating that. He retains a 2-shot lead. His game, and it's been that way the last 3 or 4 holes. Couples now 2 ahead behind. Have another look at that, and see how it dips down and into the hole, and you really can't get much closer to the bottom than that without staying there.
Tom Kite second to the 16th. After that lovely birdie 3 at 15, and good position there. How far have we got left here?
172 yards of the 6-iron. It's played well left off the tee. Down the 3rd fairway. Coming in over the bunkers to the flag. There's a little dip behind the flag, so the players will be mindful of that. And just coming up a little bit short and running back down the hill.
The news just given to Tom by his caddy. He won't be able to see it from there because his tee shot was so far left.
Nobilo to get one back from Strange at 14. Those are the ones at this stage that really have to go if New Zealand are going to get back. The Americans aren't going to give them holes or shots, points. They're going to have to take them. And they really played very well, particularly sort of coming out through the loop, round the turn. And that's too where the South Africans did so well. Up ahead in the top game, Waite versus Kite.
Get back there.
And he's got the distance and the line. What a cracking shot from Grant Waite. New Zealand not fond memories of this 16th when Simon Owen was 1 shot clear and 3 holes left to play, and just slipped it over the back edge of the green, and in stepped Nicholas to win once again at St Andrews. 1970 and 1978 his victories, and oh my goodness, don't tell me this one's going to come back. Just stays on high ground and then shorter, and he would have been back to where he started. And that one's not dead either. Rule 1 of St Andrews, don't toy with the road hole bunker. So this for a 5. And the ordeal over.
Curtis Strange at 15.
Absolutely splitting the fairway. Green's playing some lovely golf today, and that's in the ideal position. And he's a tough man to beat once he gets ahead of you.
I still think back to Oakmont, Oklahoma, Bruce, when we had the American director in our ears, and from New Zealand, Frank Noblo. They know all about him now, I'll tell you. Gorgeous golf swing. Club face remaining so square all the way through. And left that one out a little to the right. Not quite as bad as it looks from the far camera. And not too far to go from there.
Figure walking through the picture, that of Miguel Martin. Spain versus France, going up the other way. He's playing the fourth and waiting for the drives to go. Now, Colin Montgomery still
end up blocking subfloor ventilation, causing excessive moisture to build up under the house. Now, the first sign is usually a musty smell in some of the rooms, and if nothing's done about it, you could even end up with part of your floor rotting away. Now, if that's not bad enough, those dark, damp conditions are really ideal breeding grounds for termites and other pests. So it really does pay to take action early. The first thing to do is to clear away any vegetation that may be blocking airflow under the house. Also, make sure that your sprinkler system isn't spraying gallons of water through vents or gaps in the wall and increasing the problem. Another thing, make sure you check under the house. In many cases, people store so much rubbish under there that there is no way that a breeze can get through and dry things out. Be ruthless, get rid of as much as you can. Also, try drilling holes into the access door to increase the airflow. Every little bit helps. If these simple measures don't work, then more vents are called for. The concrete and mesh type are certainly the most efficient, but they don't really suit an older style of house like this one, so we're going to stick with the terracotta types. We'll just have to install more of them. As a general rule, there should be 2 terracotta vents under each room in the house. Here I'll have to double the number of vents, which means removing some of the existing brickwork. The easiest way to remove bricks from a wall is to use one of these. It's called a plugging chisel, and it takes the mortar out from between the bricks without damaging them. Okay, that's got rid of the whole brick. Now all I've got to do is cut the remaining brick in half. I'm going to use a bolster. Hopefully that'll give me a nice clean cut and I won't have to take the whole thing out. A few short, sharp hits should be enough to do the job. On a double brick house, you'll have to remove the corresponding inner bricks as well. A mortar mix of 4 parts sand to 1 part cement should be strong enough to hold the vents in place. And finally, to give it a professional finish, wipe off the excess mortar with a damp sponge. Terracotta vents cost around $7 each. A 40-kilo bag of mortar is also about $7, and you can expect to pay around $15 for a bolster or plugging chisel.
In tonight's mystery movie, a drug lord's wife in hiding.
What's on here, Dave?
Check this. Ada Topano.
This could be bigger than we imagined.
In the premiere mystery Seduction, 8:30 tonight on NBN.
This could be the sweetest home loan rate around for new home buyers. The greatest new discount rate of 7.5% per annum is guaranteed to remain 2.5% lower than the variable rate for 12 months from the date of settlement. This fantastic offer from the Greater will make owning your home so much sweeter. Now that's great. That's the Greater.
Remember how you wanted more of the pie? Pirates, now they're back in the Mikado. John English and Simon Gallagher lead an all-star cast including Geraldine Turner, Drew Forsythe, David Gould, Helen Donaldson and the fabulous Singlets in this brand new version of the Mikado, hailed as dazzling as the best of Broadway. From the 12th of July at Pacific Theatre, Newcastle. Book now. If you like pirates, you'll love the Mikado.
Rennie stops the bite of indigestion and heartburn fast.
That's better.
It's as easy as swatting a mosquito. Indigestion and heartburn, don't ignore it. Swat it with Rennie.
Best and less half-price towel sale. Print jacquard bath towels half price $6.99. Matching hand towels half price $1.99. And matching face washes are half price 79 cents each. Half price towel sale. It has to be best and less. Tomorrow only.
A sexy style, warmth and real value. Get it all at the huge leather jacket clearance. 4 days only at the Newcastle Showground. New colours, new styles. Save money with our manufacturer direct prices. Newcastle Showground, 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. Hurry, the leather clearance must end Sunday.
This is the rhythm of the night.
Okay, let's get loose with the rhythm on Club 95. The Dance Queens. Here's the real McCoy. 18 hot dance cuts from the girls. There's M People, Culture Beat. Here's Crystal Waters. Cut and Move, Melody MC, Jam and Smooth. Eternal, Shanae, Salt and Pepper. And Nikki French. 18 hot dance cuts. Club 95, The Dance Queens. Out now from Startel.
The best time to see Western Australia is during wildflower season. Visit Perth, the goldfields of Kalgoorlie, Margaret River, Wave Rock, Fremantle, Esperance and more. $2,575 for 13 fabulous days. Jays, we put WA at your fingertips.
Tonight, live from Wimbledon 95, it's the ultimate sporting crown, the one they all want to win. The world's greatest tournament, live and exclusive. Continues 10:35 tonight.
A while back, Tracy showed us how to make a fish pond a feature of the backyard. It called for a little elbow grease and part of the garden bed. Well, for those of us with not quite as much room to play with, there's always the option of a fish pot. It's the idea of landscape designer Elaine Green, who's having great success with them here in Perth. They're ideal in courtyards, on balconies, and even indoors. Armed with a little advice from the expert, we're going to give it a go ourselves. A large cement pot without a drainage hole is the way to go. And white is just the right base colour for a one-step antique finish. We'll wash the body of the pot with some old brown paint and then apply it quite thickly over the detail. Rubbing it back roughly leaves paint in the crevices and brings out the pattern. Now we're done with the cosmetics, we need to waterproof the inside of the pot, and it's important to use a sealer that's not toxic to fish. We're trying a new product called Durabit, which is a water-based latex compound and should give us a nice thick membrane. We'll make the waterline about 30 millimetres from the lip of the pot and seal up to that mark. Onto a clean surface, the first coat is applied with horizontal strokes. When that's touch dry, the second coat goes on at right angles to the first. This guarantees good coverage. Work towards making the layer at least 1 millimetre thick, and when you've finished, leave it for a week to cure. Now, before filling the pot, make sure there's a power point nearby for the pump, and choose a spot out of direct sunlight to prevent algae growth. We're using these lion's feet to lift the pot off the ground and keep air circulating underneath. This prevents moisture build-up and protects the floor, which is especially important if you've got the pot indoors. The next step is creating an inviting habitat. A few well-placed freshwater river stones give the fish a spot to hide without contaminating the water. And a pump keeps an air stone oxygenating the water. The first living addition to our pot is a green goddess arum lily. Remember, any plant you choose should be an aquatic variety. Replacing the soil with pebbles will keep the water from getting muddied, and the old stocking will stop the fish from getting in and nibbling at the plant. Should give it a better chance of surviving. And to give the fish a fighting chance, acclimatise them for about 20 minutes.
For these guys, it has to be better than living in a goldfish bowl. All the bits and pieces for the fish pot cost $175. But if you live in Perth, you can buy it complete from Casa Verde for an extra $40.
Project homes have been around for years and they're a great way to go window shopping for a new house before you part out with the cash. And these days, they're more than just a basic design. Some, like this one here, have got great architectural features as well as good value. In fact, the design features were so impressive that Dixon Homes took this year's honours for the Housing Industry Association's Australian Display Home of the Year award.
What we're trying to create here, Shirl, is a different styling in terms of a more architectural type style as opposed to the average project home, which is in a lot of cases a pretty boring box.
The multiple hip roofline and the window boxes add some interest to the front of the house, while the cornflower blue on the window surrounds and the trellis work pick up the aquatic theme and combine well with the sandstone colour of the home. The first thing you notice when you come in the front door is this sculptured wall, which is basically a standard wall with bits of it cut out. The good thing about it, it creates a sense of space and open plan living, and it also gives you an instant view. The house is designed to be as open as possible, with full-length windows and few dividing walls. Even in the kitchen, a couple of windows brighten up the cooking top area, and the sink is in the perfect posi to take in that view. Recessed areas are a real design feature of the home, and some, like these, create interesting spots to display all those favourite bits and pieces. The kids' bedrooms are on one side of the house and the parents' master bedroom's on the other, so there's a bit of a buffer creating a retreat. Master bedroom is connected with the ensuite, spa, shower and toilet, and the only thing separating the two rooms is this suspended shelf. The glass bricks let in as much natural light as possible, and the corner windows break up the boxiness of the room. The window frames are all powder-coated aluminium rather than timber, so they're low maintenance and handle the extreme weather conditions a little bit better. Something else that's interesting are the eaves on this place. The small slots help to ventilate the roof space. The bottom line, this house, excluding the pool, built on your land, works out at just under $166,000. I tell you what, I think I could be pretty comfortable here.
This could be the sweetest home loan rate around for new home buyers. The greatest new discount rate of 7.5% per annum is guaranteed to remain 2.5% lower than the variable rate for 12 months from the date of settlement. This fantastic offer from the Greater will make owning your home so much sweeter. Now that's great. That's the Greater.
Do you know the best way to see New Zealand? On Jay's 17-day scenic New Zealand getaway. You'll visit North and South Islands, spend time in the Bay of Islands, and experience the magnificent Transalpine train journey. New Zealand is spectacular. Travel with Jays and make sure you see the best parts. Departing September 22nd at $2,825, this tour is just too good to miss. Jays, we put the world at your fingertips.
Since their customers discovered Latino fresh pasta and pasta sauces, some Italian restaurants have been a little quiet. Latino Fresh, the pasta and sauces you used to go out for.
Wouldn't you like to give your home a fresh new look? Decorated Home shows you how with beautiful paint finishes, like sponging to lift a tired room, or wood graining to transform furniture. And this grainer comes free. There are stencils with every issue, design ideas to get you started, advice on choosing the right paints, colours and preparation secrets, plus step-by-step help. Don't worry, just brush it over and do it again. The second issue has this free stencil file. You'll get great results with the Decorated Home.
Who's giving away 22 winter escapes to the Gold Coast? You could win a holiday for 4 at SeaWorld Nara Resort by enjoying a hearty winter meal at Sizzler.
This is the rhythm of the
Club 95, the Dance Queens with the real McCoy. 18 hot dance cuts, Nikki French. Club 95, the Dance Queens, out now from StarTel.
Thursday on Getaway, explore the breathtaking splendour of Australia's best-kept wilderness secret.
You come away feeling you've experienced something special.
The Locals Guide to Lord Howe Island.
Ah, this is beautiful.
Learn to catch barramundi the traditional way.
Oh, wow.
Discover an ancient civilization untouched by tourism.
Almost everyone here is descended from the original Andean people.
Feed your face in chocoholic heaven.
So I like chocolate.
On Getaway, 7:30 Thursday on NBN.
There's something warm and natural about the look of polished floorboards. Polyurethane finishes are popular, but there are alternatives. Certain oils will not only protect your flooring, they'll also enhance the look of the timber.
These floors have been finished with tung oil, and the great thing about it is it's easy to apply and easy to maintain.
The owners here have just had new Tasmanian oak floorboards laid, and they've decided to go for a stenciled border and a tung oil coating. And because good preparation is critical to the final result, the boards have been professionally sanded to provide a smooth and even surface.
A buffing machine will remove as much of the fur on the timber as possible, leaving the boards with a glazed surface.
Before applying the oil, I'm going to stencil the border, and rather than using paint, I've chosen a water-based stain, in keeping with the natural feel.
I'm working 120 millimetres in from the ends, using some adhesive spray to stick it to the floor. That way, all the edges will be firmly fixed in place, reducing the risk of the stain running underneath and ruining the design.
Flooding the stencil with too much stain will also cause bleeding. A good way of controlling the amount of stain used is with one of these. It's called a pounce, and I've made this by wrapping up a ball of upholstery wadding in a piece of cotton rag.
The idea is to lightly press the stain onto the timber, going over the stencil until you're happy with the colour. I'm masking off half of one design to mitre the corners. The stain will need to dry before the oil goes on, but because it's water-based, it won't take too long.
Now it's time to apply the oil. Start by cutting it around the edges with a paintbrush, and that way you'll avoid getting oil on your skirting boards.
Use a lamb's wool applicator to do the main body of the floor. This will give a good, even coat. Take care not to flood the floor with too much oil, because puddles of oil will take a long time to dry. The floor will need a second coat. Let the first coat dry for around 2 days.
Well, the oil's dry, and I could leave it at that, but I've decided to give it a final coat of wax, which will further protect the floor, and once it's buffed, add a soft sheen. Now, if the boards are feeling a bit furry at this stage, it's a good idea to give it a light going over with some steel wool.
The easiest way to apply the wax is to turn it into a liquid form. This is done by diluting a tin of wax with pure turpentine until it's a creamy consistency. Cut in around the edges using a rag, then tip a puddle of the mixture on the floor and work the rest in with the applicator. So there it is, a lovely natural finish which is easily maintained with a little dishwashing liquid in warm water and the occasional waxing. The professional sanding costs $200, with the oil, stencil and other bits and pieces coming to a total of $283.25.
Louver windows have been around for quite a while. They're fantastic for ventilation, but because of the way they seal, they tend to let a little bit of draft in and also a bit of dust.